Hello, fellow homebrewers. JP here, and I want to introduce to you the brand new Brew-Built X1 Conical Series available at More Beer. More Beer sells the highest standard in homebrewing equipment, and the Brew-Built Conicals are just that. They're made from mirror-polished 304 stainless steel, and they come with loads of features that you and I have been looking for. They have a full 2-inch bottom dump valve, which will eliminate your clogging issues, while the sturdy base includes 4 reinforced legs, just like those big Pro tanks do. More Beer also carries the Brew-Built line of options and add-ons like casters, pressure kits, and even external glycol chillers. So you can find out more about the new Brew-Built X1 Conical Unitanks by going over to morebeer.com for detailed videos on the entire line of Brew-Built Conicals. You can trust Brew-Built with your next fermentation, and you can trust More Beer to find the right conical for you. Brew-Built at morebeer.com.
I poured it in my mouth and it just wasn't going down.
My first beer was an IPA, the best IPA I've ever drank, mostly because I brewed it.
If you have a scale that is good for measuring cocaine, you're probably good for measuring hops on it.
You're scaring me.
I think the information is awesome and the audio sucks.
Make some sugary water, throw some yeast in there.
And you're going to drink good beer.
Yeah, it's going to be good. It's fine.
God damn it, man. Oh, my God.
Now, live from the Brewing Network studios in Northern California, this is the radio program for home brewers, craft brewers, beer lovers, and beer geeks. It's your only source for live beer radio that brings expert brewers together with, well, expert drinkers. This is the radio program with a head on it. This is The Session.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to The Session. My name's Justin Crosley. I'm your host tonight. I'm your host tonight because I skipped Burning Man for you, Sully.
Well, welcome. I hope that wasn't a disappointment.
No, not at all.
Okay.
I skipped it for you, though. I was going to go, and I looked at the calendar. I went, you know what? Sully's coming in studio.
It'll be like old times.
Yeah, and healthier for me than going to Burning Man. So
you can do your own Burning Man at home the one day.
That's what I figured, yeah. It's better to burn for one day than 7 out in the desert.
Take all the drugs at one time.
Yeah, at my age, I got to be careful about these things.
That's true.
You know, I'm almost 41.
Shut the fuck up.
The big 4. Who would have thought?
Sorry, right off the bat, dropping the F-bombs. This is like old times here right now.
I always like having you back in the studio, Sully. That's why you're invited in for the first part of the show. You know, we don't do that anymore for guests. We do a half-hour bullshit, unless we really like you, which is rare. But, you know, Sully, you always get to do the whole show.
Wow, thank you. I thought it was because I was old and you really let me go home early.
No, you still got to stay for the whole interview. Quick, thanks to...
We're trying to bring back the old days.
That's right. Yeah.
Feels great.
Makes us feel good.
Yeah.
Makes us feel younger.
You've really come a long way, too, just to reflect for a moment. I don't want to get into your segment
That's
here.
All right.
I mean, look at this place. Have you got new T-shirts outside? There's like 200 people outside. I mean, you know...
Nice holiday
I'm curious,
Monday.
though. The guy that does the intro?
Yeah.
Who is that guy?
He's probably dead by now.
Okay. I didn't want to say that, but
John McCain.
I knew him from CBS Radio. In fact, he would have been the guy that recorded your spot with you and Nico years ago.
That's right.
He was that guy. He was their producer, but he had this golden voice.
That's right.
And we became friends, and he, out of kindness, he voiced this intro. I've been thinking about this intro lately. I'm done with it. I'm ready to give us a new intro. The only reason I've hung on this long is I love the guy's voice so much. But he's gone. Like he's not.
I have no idea where he is.
Radio guys, they just move.
It's
around.
like our commercial here. It's just we should probably change it.
I mean, yeah.
It's been
That's unusual.
Well,
now
we're
available
using-
in Washington, Oregon, and Alaska. You know, like in 29 freaking states now.
Right.
Come on.
People listening are really they're
like,
being shorted. They don't know they can buy your beer.
Yeah, I see it in Massachusetts. What are they talking about?
Yeah, our listeners know. I think
they know.
You know.
We should do something. And then there's the whole Push's redo of it. You know
with Andy Wood voicing it.
Yeah,
that's the
right.
one we play most
Where's
often.
Andy Wood
now.
these days? Is he still alive?
He's alive.
Okay.
And Andy Wood's doing well.
Andy Wood was in the chat last weekend.
Really?
Or, I'm sorry, last Monday.
Okay. Yeah, we haven't seen him around the show in a while. I see him from time to time. He's out being a principal. He's a principal.
Oh, he's got to be,
I think the parents found out about his podcasting experience, you know?
Yeah. I was reminiscing with Schumann about the Pacheco years over the weekend because he just had his third child, and I think that's made him feel like he misses the old days or something because he just was like,
he doesn't miss the old days. I don't care how old you get, how many kids you got, you miss the old days.
Yeah, he's like, Pacheco, man, those were the best years of my life.
He didn't know it, did he? Oh, yeah.
And I just was like, yeah, I mean, it was good. You know, we had fun.
Lighting the neighbor's, roof on fire with a firework.
That happened.
I think Sam set off. Maybe?
No, that was Natty. Who you'd vaguely remember, but anytime you were around Natty, trouble happened.
Yeah.
Smartest kid I ever knew, but boy, did he cause trouble. Too smart for his own good.
Yeah, those were the days.
I remember we'd go smoke a hookah after the show and hang out in my kitchen.
You guys would play, you and Schumann would play guitar and sing. I always wanted that one radio song. I'd sit there and tear up.
Yeah.
And then I would find my way home.
You know, our old producer, Moscow, I partnered with his family on this bar. And
say that with a more uplifting voice, please.
This happened.
You're Laura, you're depressing me. Come on.
Well, no,
lucky for me.
That's all a good thing. But when I was experiencing some Brewing Network burnout about a year ago, and I just was in here complaining about shit, which is why I took a break because who needed to hear me complain all the time?
Okay.
But I remember
any better?
I was complaining in general, even about this beautiful studio that we have, and I remember Moscow taking offense because he had helped us build up to this place and was like, wait, really? So sorry you have a shiny new studio in a bar in a successful bar in Congress, anyway? And you're not sitting in your smelly hot garage anymore, which he was right. However, I liked those days.
That was a lot of fun. I remember the first episode I was on, and it was raw, and I remember I was having this come to Jesus talk with you and myself about where this thing was going to go, and I got to tell you, I was frankly right.
You were right. I didn't know. But there's still, I'm glad we are where we are, of course. There's air conditioning. It's fun to be in a bar when we can have a beer afterward, but there was something about the dirtiness of how we started.
It's like me back in the old days when I was brewing every day at the pub in San Francisco, and now I don't really do that anymore. So it's a different company.
And you don't miss that all the time, but I'm sure that every now and then you go, it was kind of cool to just walk into my little pub in San Francisco, brew a beer.
Absolutely.
Friends would show up, have a beer with you at the end, and
you'd go home.
So again, it's not that you wish for something different, but it's nice to think about those days.
Yeah, my eyes are blinking now. Yes, I wish I still had those.
Yeah. Are you not married still, Sully? Just checking. I don't know,
No, I have a girlfriend, Allison. It's been going on for 3 years now.
Oh, that's a good one for you.
Everybody in this room but you, I think, has met her. Have you met her?
I'm not sure I have.
JP, you've met her.
No, he met her. She was
met her.
Well, I don't want to say where she was in case she wasn't there.
Bevo knows.
That was Allison.
Bevo knows her crew. He's like, wait, don't ever say where the girls were and what their names were.
Was she the nice lady that I met at JP's wedding?
Yes.
Okay, then yes, you've met her.
Oh, okay, okay.
Then I like the way you said nice lady.
Wait, that's more than... You've been married more than 3 years, haven't you, JP?
No, it'll be 3 years, September sometime.
Okay.
September sometime.
Look it up.
I think it's the 18th.
Got it.
Yeah.
That sounds right. My birthday.
Yeah.
My birthday week.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Okay, so I've met her.
Okay.
That's going well for you?
Yeah, it's going great.
Are you happy, Sully?
I'm mostly happy, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm Probably 87 to 95% happy.
That's great. I think that's fantastic.
Quantify it. Yeah, I think I am. I mean, there's some days when I think I'm 45%. I can keep going with this, by the way.
That's fine, yeah.
You tell Justin's back in therapy. He's asking those therapist questions.
Oh, I talk to you about therapy, too.
Apparently, I have a team of therapists now.
Oh, you do?
Takes a team.
I went for one, little consultation, and by the time I left, she's like, okay, so I'm going to introduce you to your team.
Jesus.
Yeah. Whoa. I was like, wow, I'm crazier than ever. There's like 3 or 4 of them in there.
Did you get to leave the hospital that day?
I did.
Do you have to spend weekends there?
I got this whole, I have so much work going on that I had a fantasy the other day that I would go to my appointment and that they would admit me because I would have a great, you can't argue with that.
You can make that
It's
happen.
an excuse.
Right? There's a couple of keywords that you can say.
Hurt myself and others.
You're right. Well, and my thought was that like those who know me, people who don't know me be like, oh my God, is Justin okay? And those of you that know me would be like, oh, he's fine. He practically admitted himself. He's on whatever drugs they're giving him right now. He's happy as a clam.
Yeah.
Yeah, therapy helps. Am I right, Sully?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
There we go.
It can turn you around. Everybody, if you need help, please get help.
Everybody listen to shit. Yeah.
It's true. Real quick before we carry on some more, because I like this kind of stuff. This show and every session that we do, of course, is brought to you by our good friends over at More Beer. You can go to morebeer.com and check them out. And they've teamed up with the great John Palmer to make 27 different beer kits on the recipes found in Brewing Classic Styles, written by Palmer and Jamil Zainasheff. The kits are true to style and are all within BJCP guidelines, enabling them to be easily entered into that upcoming competition. Buy 2 kits and get fast and free shipping from More Beer. And thanks to More Beer. Sully is More Beer's our first longest sponsor, and Sully came on only weeks later as our second longest sponsor here at the BN.
For the 21st Amendment, you mean at 563 2nd Street?
That's right. I always think of it as you, because let's face it, in the beginning it was just generosity. Now I do feel like we do something for the brand, but in the beginning it was literally generosity.
Well, yeah, I mean, but you have to build the village.
Yeah, that's right. Tonight we will be speaking with Sully, of course, from the 21st Amendment, and also Fieldwork Brewing Company. You guys have done a collaboration beer together, so we're going to be talking to Barry and Alex from Fieldwork about the collaboration beer you guys did, named A Terrible Idea.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we can get into that later, but where the name came from and the beer and all that. But
great.
Yeah, A Terrible Idea.
Fieldwork, another one of our favorite local breweries here, and we'll talk to them a bit about their business model too, because I really like it. They're one of the, I think, one of the first breweries who took up that California law that allowed you as a brewery to open multiple locations. It's not that no one had ever done it, but they did it with gusto.
They did it as a plan, as a business plan. Right from the get-go.
And it's brilliant, I think, what they did. They're doing very well because of it. It doesn't hurt that they make great beer. So we'll talk to them about that and, of course, get to know the collaboration beer, which is on tap at the Hop Grenade right now. You can come down today or probably for the next day or two and have the beer here at the Hop Grenade in Concord. Or might as well tell people now, it's going to also be distributed in 6-packs, right?
Yeah. Yes, it's in 6-packs as well.
Is it already out
Yeah, it's out there, and wherever we sell beer, you'll find it.
All right, we'll check it out. And
here's a little teaser. It's going to be in our fall-winter variety pack. So it's like an IPA pack.
Nice.
With that in there.
You guys do a lot of variety packs now?
Variety packs are huge. It's sort of an extension of like kind of the rotating nation of craft beer right now. Your bars like that as well have different beers on all the time. I think people want different opportunities, different types of beer in one pack. So it does really well.
Didn't you have to buy a specialized bottling line or canning line?
We can our beer, Justin. We can.
Just to do variety packs?
We did, actually. We thought about it ahead of time, and we have what we call the variety pack spur, which comes off the main line. This is going to take a half an hour to explain. and there's 6 stations in there. So what we do is we run the beer, we package it in a tray, and then we have 6 people at the stations pushing the beer back into the Douglas multi-packer that basically forms the box and puts the beer in the box. Typically, the way variety packs are done, it's just by hand.
That's what I thought.
It's just like there's like a guy or a gal sitting there and just pulling from different boxes to fill another box.
Yeah, my understanding was that even craft giants like Sierra Nevada had to figure this out because they were doing it by hand for a long period of time.
They outsourced it to people who were doing it by hand.
Okay, yeah. So you planned ahead for this, and
we thought, we just thought we were going to be doing this type of package, and I guess we won on that one.
So you had the conveyor line configured for that.
Yep, it can handle up to 6 flavors.
Is it your
beers, I should say.
Is it your best seller every time you do a variety pack? Or
yeah,
no?
it's huge. I mean, variety packs are just ginormous. We do one for Costco too, which is a case, 24 cans, and so it's really taken off.
What about, is Watermelon Wheat still the best-selling single beer you produce?
So Hell or High Watermelon is...
Sorry, that's right.
I just put my branding hat on there. Stephanie's
you're right,
going to be really happy with me.
I do this all the time.
So, yeah, it's our best summer seasonal.
Okay.
It is the summer seasonal. It sells the best during the summer. That's why it's called summer seasonal.
That's a seasonal beer?
Yeah. It comes out March through, October.
Was that always the case?
It was, actually. Even at the pub when we were brewing it back in the day, we would come out essentially when baseball season started, and it ran through the end of baseball, which is around October.
Okay.
That had nothing to do with the watermelon growing season or anything like that?
Initially it did. I mean, we now contract watermelon juice, but back in the day we were getting watermelons, and it was interesting because you kind of tracked the harvest. Mm-hmm. So it started South America, and then came up through Central America, Mexico, then finally up to the United States. And so, the watermelons initially were kind of anemic. So, but that's why one year we did actually sell it year round, and when we were selling beer, started selling beer in the Northeast. But you just found that people they don't want to drink that beer in December. Even in warm states like Florida, where they're where they seemingly would be able to, but no, they want once that Starbucks pumpkin latte comes out, all those summer beers go away.
Right.
So back to his question. Per month, Hell or High Water is your best-selling beer.
It is, but right now we're also we have a new beer, relatively new, called Blood Orange Brew Free or Die.
Oh yeah,
and that's blown up as well.
Oh, it's so good. That's why I love that beer.
Thank you.
I've seen that.
It's it's using real fruit juice, and it's got a lot of hops behind it that sort of help complement that citrus flavor.
Okay.
It's a great beer for, here's the plug.
Yeah.
If you're an IPA drinker or not an IPA drinker, you're going to love this beer.
God, do you put that on the can?
I guarantee it.
I guarantee it.
Guarantee. I'll hand you a can when you walk in the door.
All right, let me do a couple of quick things here so we can get on with the good stuff, too. Let me do some announcements. Brought to you today by Drake's Brewing Company, another one of our very most favorite local breweries. You can go to drinkdrakes.com and check out their new Bright Side Extra Brut IPA, one of the pioneers of the style, and it's a real good one. If you're interested in that Brut IPA style people are starting to talk about, check out Drake's. Go to drinkdrakes.com. Our Concord Oktoberfest, I've been telling you about this. The first ever Oktoberfest here in Concord is happening October 12th and 13th. Tickets will probably be on sale by the time you hear this podcast, because I'm putting them on sale tomorrow morning. However, you don't need tickets to go. It's a family. It's a free family event. You can come and enjoy all the food and the music and the kids area. But if you want to enter the beer garden, it's going to be $25. Gets you a commemorative half-liter Stein and a couple beers in that, and you can buy extra drink tickets. So that's the only thing for purchase and food. But you can enter the park and enjoy all the festivities. It's October 12th and 13th, so save the date. It's all craft beer. I'm not doing I am doing all lagers. Most of them, in fact, probably 99% of them will be German-style lagers. I might just fill in one or here with my favorite breweries. But, it's not like Hofbrauhaus and the other Oktoberfest beers that you find, which I have nothing against. I want fresh beer. So we're doing a Brewing Network style, which is all craft breweries that'll be involved. I'm probably going to bug you about El Sully. I think El Sully still fits in my little lager zone there at the Oktoberfest tent. So I probably want to buy some of that beer from you.
Thanks for having us.
You'll be the one ethnic beer that I...
POC beer, please.
Yes, yeah. So we're going to have 20 or so, probably a little more breweries, and it'll be a good time. And I got a 20-piece German orchestra.
20?
Coming to play, which should be a lot of fun.
Are you flying Danielle over?
And, I tried to get her to... She was here just a couple weeks ago, and really? I was trying to get her to come out and join us, but no, she's not going to make it, unfortunately. She'd be disappointed anyway. I think everyone else is going to be impressed. It looks like Oktoberfest, but she would come in and be like, it's shit. Look at Scheisse.
Of course you would.
There's no one pissing underneath the table. This isn't real.
Yeah. I will be wearing my lederhosen, though, which I know you own, Sully.
I will wear. What's the date again?
October 12th and 13th. It's 2 nights. I'll bug you about it when I bug you about El Sully. And then, you should come.
Sounds exciting.
Come wear lederhosen with me.
I will do that. It's a little startling to see me in lederhosen, or lederhosen, as you say.
Yeah.
But I'll do it.
You should. We have a German dance group coming that will do a performance and then teach others.
I will be doing that as well.
Yeah. Stein holding competitions, maybe a pretzel eating competition, fun stuff for everybody. So mark your calendars and check out thebrewingnetwork.com or ConcordOktoberfest.com, and tickets will be up tomorrow. So you can do your Amazon shopping right on the homepage. Just click the Amazon links, and it's a great way to support us without costing you anything. You just shop as you will. And thank you to all of you that do that already. Subscribe and join the BN Army, too. Hit the donate button for as little as $2 a month. You're entered into the More Beer monthly donation giveaway, which is a chance to win $100 to spend over at More Beer, which is a great thing that they've been supporting for a long time. Plus, you support the show that you love the most, which is this one and then all the other Brewing Network shows. Right, JP? This one first and then all the others.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Get updates and pictures and fun things that we're doing over on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Send feedback to feedback@thebrewingnetwork.com. That's where we like to see your letters to us. And, I think that's all the announcements I have for you.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Not too bad. Do we have a Twitter game today, JP?
Yes, we do, Justin.
Twitter game is brought to you today by Beersmith. You can go to beersmith.com and check it out. And right now, they've just put out their all-new version, Beersmith 3. And you get a free 21-day trial. You can check it out. But Beersmith 3 has support for mead, wine, and cider recipes for the first time ever. There's a water profile tool built into the recipe builder, so you can build and match water profiles within a beer recipe. Mash pH estimation and adjustment built right into the recipe builder. New support for, you like this one, Tasty, Hop Whirlpool editions, which includes time and temperature for each item. There's a completely revised database, including hops, malts, fruits, juices, honey, and a style guide for mead. It's got it all. So go check it out. You get your free 21-day trial over at beersmith.com. What's our Twitter game, JP?
Well, I want to speak directly to Twitter.
Okay.
For a second, to the people, to the netizens of Twitter.
I got it.
I'm outraged today, for one. I'm outraged.
Okay.
And I want to know what Twitter is outraged about today.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm not going to complain about my outrage, but I would like to turn the tables and take upon your outrage upon my broad shoulders. Unload on me. What are you outraged about? What's going on? Twitter's always outraged. Twitter's like the home of being outraged.
Yeah.
So,
are you not going to complain about your outrage for the whole show or just this segment?
Well, I don't know. It'll change. Who can really tell?
Right. It depends on how outraged you are.
The current outrage I'm fine with right now.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right. What are you outraged about?
You're asking me now? I just told you.
It's fine. Not you.
Oh,
no,
okay.
It's fine.
Who's on first?
All right. That's our Twitter game. And how about some feedback before we have to take a break, shall we?
Sure. Let's do that.
Feedback's brought to you today by the Beer Law Center. Go to beerlawcenter.com, and our good friend John will take care of you as well as he takes care of us. He's protected that hop grenade for years. He can protect your trademarks, too. Also does TTB filings and anything you need, well, beer-related. Go to beerlawcenter.com. All right, just a couple things in the feedback today. Ian writes in, I love me some JP, but great to have Justin back at the helm. Great show with Armistice last week. Thank you for that. I also love me some JP. But I do too. I also had a great time with Armistice last week.
Yeah, they're great. They're fun.
I thought that was a fun show.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good time.
You know those guys at All Sully from Richmond, California?
Yeah.
Brother and sister team. First brother and sister brewery team I've ever interviewed.
Yes,
and,
I have met them, yes.
They're fun. They used to hate each other. Now they don't.
Oh, wow.
So that's a whole, their brewery's like this whole reconciliation thing they got going on. Mm-hmm. Folks, you can check out the show last week. But I'm just saying, I had a great time on last week's show.
Did they get into it? Did you try to dig deep and go yeah, but remember that thing that happened and then it blows up?
I did try a little, but they seem to be fairly good at dealing with that now. However, One of them got shithoused.
Yeah, homegirl drinks.
Which is always a good time.
Yeah, it was good. That's funny.
I mean, kept her composure on the show, and then was sleeping on the couch when we got out of the studio.
She's there right now.
Yeah, it's still there. But you know what? They were a lot of fun and brought us some good beer. So
yeah, that's great.
Anyhow, he has some questions. Let's see. Justin teased a lagering forum that he hosted a while back in Colorado with Colorado brewers. It was Prost and Zwei, and they were debating over processes like decoction and such. By the way, I'm translating this guy's email. He was drunk when he wrote this. Totally translating it. Anyway, us lager obsessed are waiting impatiently, and when will we see that? Yeah,
it's a good juxtaposition of being an impatient lager brewer.
Right? Yeah. Well, the problem with that is me. What that actually was a session live from Fort Collins that I completely screwed up. In fact, Sully was on that same show, and I may have salvaged Sully's segment in the beginning.
Well, he's a paying sponsor.
But it still wasn't a complete.
Will go out.
It was a complete technical failure. I had a video with audio and a regular audio, so I had redundancy, and it all completely failed. And because I didn't have a producer, it was just me. I did not know it failed until 3/4 into the second interview with the lager people. I completely fucked it up. So you'll never hear that show, unfortunately. But it was good.
Yeah. Recap it right now.
I can pretty much recap it. They gave, obviously, some great nuances and some detailed information. But my takeaway was, essentially, the premise was this. Prost Brewing Company out of Denver only does decoction mashing, traditional decoction brews. And Zwei does not. They do step mashing, I believe, but not decoction. And the idea was to have them argue it out a little bit. And, of course, they didn't argue much. I could definitely tell the difference in the decoction brewed beer. They were both great beers, and that's not just me being diplomatic. I really like Zwei's beers. And if I had just drank Zwei's beer, I wouldn't have been able to tell you it wasn't decoction mashed.
No, without something to compare it to.
Yeah,
right.
But side by side, there was a richness, like a layered quality to the decoction brew that was kind of unmistakable. And so, in the end, I believe we just decided that if you've got the time, you should decoction mash. If you're a home brewer, especially, I think you'll notice the difference in your beer. But you're also going to produce a great Helles or a Pilsner if you don't. And my idea was that, Dan Gordon's been in here for years just saying there's only one way to do this.
Right.
You got to decoction mash.
Oh, right.
And I was trying to add fuel to that fire.
So I guess the difference is, in decoction, you're denaturing some of the enzymes because you're bringing it up to a boil, right? Yeah. That's different than step mash. You don't denature anything until you take it to the 165 Fahrenheit step, and you denature everything there. So nothing is denatured in step mashing, but it does a lot in a decoction.
Well, and maybe I'm not understanding you entirely.
Once you raise it to boiling, you're denaturing all the enzymes.
But is it just
That's only a portion of it.
Yeah, there's also the melanoidin, or you're actually adding flavor too by the decoction.
You're freezing the body that's there.
Is that?
Yep. And then you're adding it back to your original mash to raise the temperature up.
Okay. Is that what you mean by denaturing?
You're talking about flavor? You bring it to a boil. You basically bring it to a high temperature and add it back into your mash to bring its temperature up.
I see.
And that's as you're bringing that temperature above 155, 165, it gets denatured.
Okay.
The enzyme, so it doesn't have any more diastatic power.
Got it. Well, we did not solve the age-old question at the end because they were both great. But my preference was definitely the decoction mash,
Yeah.
But only if I, like you said, only if I had a side-by-side.
Sure. Because
I drink this Zwei all the time, and I go, what a Helles. It's amazing. Yeah. It was only when I just did it right side by side.
And it's also hard because the recipes were probably different. The grain bills are probably different. They were sourced probably differently. They're fermented probably differently, different yeasts and all that kind of stuff.
Yes,
so it's
but
hard.
Not so much. Actually, that was a really fun part of the show. Yeah. They ended up admitting after discussing their beers that they were nearly identical. Mm-hmm. A couple differences here, but that in recipe and ingredients they were almost identical.
Same with the water. Pretty much their whole process and their whole thing's pretty much the same.
Water might have been different only because they're in two. Zwei is in Fort Collins, and Prost is in Denver. Right, but I bet it was similar.
The target was probably the same.
Yeah. But still,
sounds like you have to redo the show.
I know, and
learn how to push play.
record after all these years. Yeah,
yes, of course,
I probably did push play.
That was the show that I was on with Gordon, right?
Yeah, from Funkworks.
Okay.
Yeah, so
that's a shame.
I owe it to everybody to redo the show. Really. Anyhow, you'll never see it. There you go.
Here's the answer to your question.
Yeah. And then a quick suggestion, he says, to have a guest, Yorkshire Square Brewing from Torrance, California. He says it's all English all the time, majority cask conditioned and served via the hand pump. Really impressive beers. I guess the brewer is formerly from McLeod, which we've had on the show.
Yeah, the kid Andy, I think.
Okay, yeah.
Probably.
So Ian says at the very least, JP should make a stop on the way to Disneyland. He would approve.
I will.
There you go.
All right. Thanks for writing in, Ian. I appreciate that. All right. Joe from Castle Rock, Colorado writes in, I'm a few shows behind, but I heard the first What Gives Tasty bit on the Family Business Show. I don't know about this.
Right.
What is
that wasn't
what
even a
gives
bit.
tasty?
I responded like it was a bit or something.
It was an email titled "What Gives Tasty," and I thought I was reading feedback, and I was like, that would be a good segment where we just ask what gives Tasty, and then he just takes 30 seconds to say whatever the fuck and that's
I like
what
this.
Gives
Why
Tasty.
haven't we brought that back?
I think didn't I do one like, what about these beer prices?
It was beer prices.
Where are they going up?
Well, that's what he said. He goes on to say he went off about beer prices, but also on 25-year-olds.
Yeah, they're messing it up. They're making all these bad decisions. They're willing to pay, whatever.
Oh, not just like life, but in beer they're messing up.
Yeah, they're just like, they don't know,
Got it.
Like trading.
Drink at the cheaper place.
Okay. Well, Joe also says, while I've got your attention, fuck millennials.
There you go.
Yeah.
They got a beating last week.
I try.
But he goes on to say about the price thing, Tasty. He says, I saw this article about Founders Brewing dropping beer prices to compete with the big guys. And he says, I thought it was... Well, now we got to get Sully's take, but hang on. He says, I thought it was interesting. We've got a few big breweries here in Colorado that have started to offer 15 packs of their lagers for $15 on sale. Yeah. So I buy that whenever I can. He says, I'm not paying $10 a six-pack, so I end up buying Modelo a lot.
That doesn't help anybody, though.
He says, once again, F millennials and their avocado toast. Cheers from Joe in Castle Rock, Colorado.
But Founders are also big people. They're not craft beer. They're owned by someone else.
And avocado toast is really good.
They don't rock the craft logo.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're owned by Mao, which makes San Miguel.
Oh, okay.
Spanish company.
Are they wholly owned? Do you know?
I think it's actually
35%.
Yeah, I think it's above the threshold for the BA.
What's the BA? Is it 30% for the BA? 25. Okay, got it. Okay.
By the way, I buy Hell or High Water all the time at my place for $15.99.
A 6-pack.
15-pack.
A 15-pack?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
That's a killer price.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's an amazing price.
It's at Total Wine and More.
Okay,
but they're really, really competitive. At a Safeway, it's going to be like $18.49 or something like that.
That's still a good price for a 15-pack.
Usually on sale, yeah.
It's been on sale for $15.59. Right?
I mean, the great danger in craft beer is selling on price. That's a danger because it costs a lot of money to make this stuff, and so that's the problem when you're competing with larger companies like the big, like Anheuser-Busch and certainly Mao to a certain extent. But you're they can they have a lot better way of doing things than we do. I mean, they get better collective buying power in terms of their raw materials, and I can keep going on about this, and also they can they can have a loss leader too. You can kind of lose money on a package, but make it up on another package. So it really hurts the smaller brewer. If I hope there's never a price war. I mean, I think maybe brewers might have like a lower brand or something. You're kind of seeing that in some ways, where maybe it's a lighter blonde or something like that. Maybe the price is lower. I don't know. Is 805 that way? Is it line price with like their regular
Yeah, I think it's $6.
No, I can get $9. I can get a case for under $24, like $23.99.
So it's just a great danger because it really. The margins are already tight in making beer and distributing it, especially with breweries, any brewery.
Yeah.
So when that starts happening, you're like, oh, shoot.
Do you think it's realistic that we won't have a price war? And I'm not even talking about soon, but eventually,
I don't think
right?
we will because, I mean, the problem is that the distributors want to make margin too. So this margin's passed all the way down to the consumer.
Right.
So we sell our beer to the distributor, for a price, and then the distributor sells it to the retailer for a price, and then the retailer, and it's going up the whole way. Mm-hmm. And so it can't get to a certain point where it's unrealistic then, because you want to move beer. So I mean, craft beer prices are going to be going up. I mean, it's just the nature of the beast. It's like any other consumer product out there. You're going to see rising prices.
Yeah,
and we're talking entirely off premise, like packaged what you buy at the store. What you buy at the bar, they just charge whatever the market will bear. Mm-hmm. They don't care whether they're charging $1.75 for a half barrel or $2.25. They're just going to charge.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah. Do you think that craft beer prices will either are or will rise faster than other things that we know and love?
I don't think so.
It's in line?
I think because everybody's really sensitive to it. We're all like, hey, what are they doing over there? Like, you're always like looking at each other like, hey, Sierra, what are you doing over there? Or New Belgium, because you're all looking at each other and like.
Because Ballast made the big jump. Like, weren't they the ones that invented the $15 six-pack? They made like a giant leap.
They've been going backwards on that, too.
Yeah, they've gone back on it, too. I mean, I think it was, in a lot of ways, that was probably, if I had to read the tea leaves on that was before the sale to Constellation. Mm-hmm. It was probably to increase, revenue per barrel, and then,
forecast.
And create like the value of the company to be greater.
Got it.
Right before that, I think we talked about it on the show. I saw it for $18.99.
A six-pack.
A six-pack of Sculpin.
Wow, yeah.
And then a month or two later, they got bought.
Okay.
And then now things are still around 13 to 15.
Yeah.
So it 13. Came down a little bit, but that really left a bad taste in my mouth. Craft or not, like, come on, man.
Yeah, I was in Southern California at my folks' house. I went to, it was Pavilions or something like that, and that's the first time I ever saw Ballast Point. And it was like $15.99, and I was like, is this because it has to travel this far? It's that far.
Well, in fairness,
it
was one of the early fruited IPAs. I mean, it was a beer that you couldn't get none of too many people had it, and everybody's got one.
Yeah, but that's just a supply and demand thing, not a cost of goods thing.
Right,
really.
It was unique. A lot of people never had a fruited IPA, so there's Sculpin.
Yeah. So they were charging a premium for the
Sculpin's not fruited
for the. Oh well, they were. The original wasn't, but then they very quickly.
Yeah.
Grapefruit.
Right.
Yeah.
Mango.
Yeah, mango. He's like everything Sculpin.
Watermelon,
right?
Dorado. Yusuf's not with the company anymore, so it's okay.
That answered his question.
Yeah. All right, Joe. Yeah, there you go. By the way, he says at the end, I'm not paying $10 a six-pack, but I pay $10 a six-pack quite often, and I clearly must think it's worth it because I actually refuse to drink beers that are often, $7 and $6. In fact, I guess maybe a better way to say this is, it's rare that I find beers I really enjoy that are on sale for $7.
Sure. Don't expect it.
And if I'm going to enjoy it and I have to pay $10 to do that, I'd rather drink beer that I enjoy for $10 than something I don't for $6 or $7. Mm-hmm. So I will always, if there's a little Safeway special on one of my favorite craft beers, then I'm happy. I'm stoked. But I'm not too surprised anymore when I'm paying $10.
It's still cheaper than drinking out.
Yeah.
And it's also one of those things where it's like, look what you're competing against. I mean, wine and spirits. It's still a great option.
It is.
It's like a bottle of wine. I mean, it's like, $15, $20, $25.
Yeah. For anything halfway decent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, buy beer. Be okay with the prices.
That's right. All right. Well, enough of all of that. We're going to take us a quick break, and when we come back, we'll get Fieldwork in here, and we're going to talk about the new collaboration beer between 2-1A and Fieldwork. It's a hazy IPA, so
I'll be stepping out.
JP's got other things to do. Hang in there. It's The Session, and we'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
Do you like beer? They make beer.
Watch out!
Do you like friends and fun? They make friends and fun.
Watch out!
Do you still like to have a good time? The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
The 21st Amendment in San Francisco, located at 563 2nd Street, 2 blocks from the building where baseball is seen and played. Try their beers in the pub or try them in the can, featuring
Monk's Blood.
Made with real monk.
Watch out!
So why not have the best time of your life? Go to the 21A and Shaun Sullivan will personally greet you with a can of
Monk's Blood.
the 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
This advertisement is not in any way affiliated nor associated with the 21st Amendment Bar and Pub, nor its subsidiaries or affiliates. This telecast is not copywritten by the 21st Amendment for the private use of the Brewing Network. Any use of this telecast without Jamil Zainashev's consent is prohibited. Suck it, JP.
Do you know the 3 most important rules in brewing? Sanitation, sanitation, and sanitation. And no one does it better than 5-Star Chemicals. 5-Star knows sanitation. You can only sanitize clean equipment. And 5-Star knows how to clean, too. For craft brewers and home brewers, 5-Star has what you need to keep your fermenters, serving tanks, kegs, and draft lines sparkling and free of any beer-spoiling bacteria. PBW, caustic, acid cleaners, Star Sand, SaniClean, lubricants and defoamers, pH stabilizers, and more. 5-Star Chemicals has cleaning supplies, safety supplies, heat exchangers, pumps, hoses, and valves. And 5-Star is proud to offer eco-friendly products that exceed customer expectations. If you have a cleaning problem, you need the 5-Star solution. Visit 5starchemicals.com or call 800-782-7019. 800-782-7019 and get the 5-Star treatment today.
You're tuned into this session.
Because life's too short to listen to crappy radio.
All right, welcome back to the session. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. This segment is brought to you by the good folks at craftbeer.com, celebrating the vast and varied landscape of American craft beer. Visit craftbeer.com's beer travel section to find your next beercation destination. And as promised, we've got Sully from the 21st Amendment and also Barry and Alex, both from Fieldwork Brewing Company. Barry, welcome.
Thank you.
He just mock delayed me.
Here.
And Alex, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
It's good to see you both in here. I believe that the last time you guys did a show here, I wasn't here.
That's what we heard.
I didn't get to enjoy the fun that is Fieldwork.
Well, Bev told us it was actually 2 years ago, Labor Day, that we were here.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, so it's sort of...
you would have thought Bev would have learned to not book a show on fucking Labor Day.
I thought we didn't work on Labor Day.
We like to keep screwing up your holidays, I guess.
Wait, this isn't work.
See, that's right. This is all fun, guys.
It's all fun.
Yeah, see?
Yeah. Well, now Fieldwork is... We've already been talking to Sully, so he can just hang tight for a second. But Fieldwork is one of my favorite Bay Area breweries. You guys have quickly become that.
Thank you.
And it's not just the beer. It's as an entrepreneur, I like what you guys do. And I was saying to Sully at the beginning of the show here that to me, you guys are one of the first breweries who really took advantage of the multiple locations that are allowed under your brewery license.
Yes.
It was always allowed in California.
Right.
What's the brewery type license that does this?
23.
And it allows, 8 locations?
It allows 6 satellite tap rooms.
And I feel like I don't understand why nobody took as much advantage of that. And you guys built it into your business plan, right?
Well, yes, very intentionally from the beginning, because the thing that Alex and I had always talked about was the fresher the beer that you can get to the consumer, the better you're able to represent your product on a local basis.
Yeah.
And you can having a tap rooms allows us to talk about our beers and have a narrative that we want to have out there about how it is we approach the craft, and
right.
It's been great to us for 3.5 years. We're really fortunate and grateful that people are coming out and enjoying the.
How many
beer.
do you have in the 3.5 years?
Well, we have the main Berkeley brewery, and then we have tap rooms in Monterey, Napa, San Mateo, Sacramento, and we're opening in San Ramon about 8 weeks from now.
Wow. That's a lot in 3.5 years, don't you think?
Well, you weren't here 2 years ago. I really had a lot more hair, and I wasn't as gray.
Right.
But,
That's a lot of work.
I don't believe it.
A tremendous amount of work, and it's at the same time really rewarding and a lot of fun.
You get to be the local brewery in all of those communities, not just your original location, which is the Berkeley one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I hope so.
I mean, I would think so.
I hope that people, consider us a gathering place, a neighborhood place, and they'd like to come and, bring their families and their dogs. And
do you brew at each of those?
No, under the license, you're not allowed to. So,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the duplicate licenses, you have your brewing location, and the duplicates are not allowed to brew. So anything we do beyond the 6, we have to incorporate a brewing component.
Why do you think they incorporated that into the law?
Well, I mean, Shaun probably has a lot more background on this than I do, maybe. And he's looking at me like
I would think they'd rather, of course I'm thinking of it logically, which is probably the wrong way to go, that they'd rather you have breweries at each location.
Well,
I think it's the tap room is the part you're really speaking to.
Right.
Is that they don't want, like, a larger brewery, let's say, an ABI brewery, to basically open up tap rooms. So they restricted the amount you can do. So the compromise was 6.
Yes, the compromise was 6. Because wineries have a similar privilege, but they're only allowed 1.
Okay.
So you get your main winery and then 1 satellite tasting room.
I see.
The privilege always existed, but it was for, if Shaun's huge brewery needed another place for storage,
which
they would create a duplicate license just so they could control what was in that space. It was the licensed premises.
Okay.
And it wasn't until, I don't know, maybe 2012 or 13 that
Stone was one of the first ones.
Yeah, Stone was the first one that I remember, doing it in South Park in San Diego, to take advantage of the sort of retail aspect.
Okay. All right. And how did you two, Barry and Alex, how did you guys team up and get together on this?
Tinder, I think.
Snapchat? Come on.
He slid into my DM.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And the rest, as they say, is history. No, I mean, well, if you had showed up to the last one, you would know the story.
But
so true.
That's what you get for enjoying your Labor Day live.
No one remembers that show anyway.
So, long and short of it, I worked in human resources in San Diego, and I had moved to Carlsbad. And people not familiar with San Diego's kind of divided up by 4 sectors. You have East County, you have South Bay, you have San Diego, and then you have North County. Nobody crosses. So all my friends that I once had in San Diego would not come see me in Carlsbad, and they replaced me with Barry.
Okay.
So I kept hearing, we're going to go do this with Barry. And I was like, fuck Barry.
It was Barry guy.
Yeah. And then it was right when I had won the homebrew contest with Ballast Point. And I think it was when the first commercial batch was coming out.
Yes.
And we're having a bottle share at our buddy Tori's house, and Barry lived in his neighborhood. And so we were just tasting the beer and hanging out and got along great. And then I ended up moving, when I took the job with Ballast Point, I moved back into San Diego proper.
Okay.
And Barry owned, and I lived in Hillcrest, and Barry owned, at that point in time, it was the only place serving craft beer, right, in Hillcrest. So
is it a tap house or?
Yeah, organic restaurant and craft beer.
Okay.
Organic restaurant.
Organic restaurant. Yeah.
It was organic.
We grew all of the bottles outside in the garden.
I was going to get
in concept and execution. So, and so we ended up building like this great relationship. I'd go in there all the time, hang out, we'd talk, and just got to know each other really well. This actually ties in so well, though, to the beer we're here for, because can I just totally blow the warp whistle and jump to the beer talk?
I don't see why not.
It's the Brewing Network. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm not wearing pants then. But so that's part of the whole why we named the beer A Terrible Idea. Because part of my spiel of why we should call the beer that was, I was like, the fact that Barry wanted to open a brewery and was like, I want to do it with Alex. It was a terrible fucking idea. And I'm sitting there going, man, that's an awful idea. But we did it anyways.
You just liked his beer that much? It wasn't his sparkling personality.
It's never been his sparkling personality.
Yeah. You liked his homebrew. Well, he was also pro brewing.
No, he's pro brewing, and he's gonna hate me for saying this, but he made the very first keg of grapefruit sculpin for my place.
Okay,
and we served it New Year's Day in 2012, and the keg was gone in 45 minutes.
Wow. Okay,
and so that sort of was. I tasted, by that time he went on to Modern Times, and we were drinking good beer together all the time, and I just was like, well, I really want to do something else, and I'd love to collaborate with somebody who knows what they're doing and who would, I think, benefit from a platform of being able to do their own thing. And that
but
was
he
Alex.
chose me, which was a terrible idea.
Terrible.
So,
well, it's worked out.
Well, really
on paper, it was a terrible idea, but in practice, it's worked out.
Which is exactly why we named the beer that, though, because when we're brainstorming for the name, which naming a collaboration is the most obnoxious fucking thing on earth. If you can imagine a couple. The amount of bullshit they go through to name their child,
right.
I'm sure they argue back and forth nonstop.
Yeah.
That's only going to live 6 months.
Yeah. All right. Breweries spend even more time trying to pick the fucking name.
Yeah.
The recipe's banged out in about 10 minutes. The name takes a month. So I loved how Shaun did. Shaun's like, hey, come on down. We're going to hang out. We're going to drink beers. And we're going to tell stories. And then we'll pull a name from the stories. I'm like, shit, that's pretty awesome. So when we're sitting there and we're like telling our backgrounds to each other, we had known each other for a long time, but we didn't know the nitty gritty of how we all came to the industry. And Shaun kept on talking like everything he had done was like these obvious things to do. And I'm like, no. So he's like, it made sense. So we quit our jobs and opened a brewery in San Francisco in the 90s. And I'm like, that was a terrible fucking idea. But he thought it was this great idea. I'm like, no, back then, of course, we're all lucky that he did, but back then, that was a terrible idea.
Right.
And then you guys were probably the third brewery to be putting your craft beer in cans?
Yeah, I think it was like less than 10 at the time.
Yeah.
Oh, forget that. Not even that they put it in cans, but how they put it in cans. I was there when the first guy from Canada with his little forehead canning line showed up.
It was two.
It was two even. Would barely fit in the brewery. In other words, it was a terrible idea.
But see, you listen to Shaun tell the story, and it sounds like, well, obviously we went with cans. It's like, no, back then everybody would shit on beer in cans. Like, it tastes like metal.
Right.
I constantly would hear that dumb shit set. Oh, sorry, any listeners who used to say that. My bad. You're lovely, but and Shaun has this amazing demeanor where he makes these things sound great, and they were this, and it's like, no, putting your beer in cans back then was a terrible idea.
Right. So over this conversation, it just came out. This was the theme. A terrible idea.
Like Alex leaving a great paint job in HR to become a brewer. Me, I worked for a law firm in L.A.
Right.
Did really well to become an assistant brewer, making $6.20 an hour at Triple Rock.
And that polarity is in the beer. It's a bad idea, but the beer is really good.
Sure. Well, can I just say that of everything I've heard,
a podcast on back when you did a terrible idea?
It was a terrible idea. It was a horrible idea. Yeah, it was
what are you doing?
Horrible even.
The
podcast didn't even exist.
Yeah, exactly. You sat there in your garage talking to yourself,
yeah,
right?
That's how bad it was.
It was the first couple episodes.
Yeah.
But then the final tie-in is we're canning a hazy beer and sending it across the country. So all these things are, for me, it's the terrible idea that makes really
and Alex
sense.
He's the one that came up with the name. He just it kind of all he was like listening what was going on. We were all telling our story, and it was like we got to call it a terrible idea.
Sure.
And that's the great thing about the way we do things like that is just sitting around a table, sitting around on couches, and then having the name just come forth.
Yeah. I like it. I think it's a good name. It fits the style too because it's such controversy. Like some people are like, that's a fucking terrible idea for a beer, hazy beer.
Yeah.
So it totally fits. Can I say the one thing I've heard in this group that was not a terrible idea was Alex leaving the HR business. I mean, let's be honest, he never belonged there.
No. I was the worst HR person ever.
Yeah.
I actually I loved it.
Okay.
It actually was oddly rewarding, but
you can imagine going to your exit interview and then Alex is across the table there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, you have no idea. I've laid off so many people at Ballast Point.
You did you're a hatchet man.
Yeah, like 4 or 5 beers in, people at Ballast Point would be like, "Hey, lay me off right now," and I'd lay them off at the bar just for fun, and because I was in HR when the economy took the shit dive, and
I bet you were actually really good at it.
No,
I would want to get fired by you.
Yeah, no, because I don't know. You have to have a certain amount of compassion, you got to do it. A lot of people listening right now are like, "Man, I've been laid off, and that shit sucks." You do have to do it with a lot of compassion. And freedom with dignity and things like that. But in the down economy, it went from me designing program. I was a program manager. I won't say where I was, but when the economy went down, man, I turned into just the hatchet man. I was like George Clooney in that Up in the Air movie, except really ugly and on the ground.
That's rough. Not even the glamour side.
So at that point, I was like, the fact that I was numb to it, I'm like, I got to get out of here. I'd been trying to get into the beer industry for fucking ever. And it was so hard back then because no one was hiring, and I was just really, really, really lucky that Youssef at Ballast Point had the terrible idea to hire me.
Come on board.
I mean, again, terrible idea.
Well, it worked out all the way through.
I think so, yeah.
So, all right, so let's talk about how the collaboration came about. Were you guys friends before hanging? Like, I never know how. Some of these collaborations, I feel like it's just like a marketing idea.
Like an arranged marriage.
No. But others are friends, right? And they go, we should just brew together. And which are you?
Well, I got to know these guys when they opened. I mean, I live in Berkeley, and so I would, I went down go down to their place. But I think it was really I got to know you, Barry. I was on a panel at your place. On craft beer. I don't remember what it was.
Like 4 weeks after we opened.
Yeah, you were like, that's a terrible idea. Let's just do this right now.
It was somebody else's terrible idea, but it was pretty terrible
that's
idea.
That's where I met Barry, and then shortly thereafter, I think I'd really just met you, Alex, for the first time around that time as well. And then, I'd go into their tap room and, and like anything else, drink beers and then come up with this kind of brainstorm this idea came out. So
got it.
That's how I remember it. I might have it wrong.
and
you missed all the deep philosophical conversations that we've had along the way about life.
I was going to say, but that was 2 years ago, 2 and some change that you were on the panel. So
3
years ago.
3.5 years ago.
Jesus, we're getting old.
But
so we've been friends for a long time. It's something we've wanted. I don't know about. I can't speak for Shaun. He probably didn't even want to do this. The marketing people do it with those guys, but we've wanted to do this forever. And
you never know what Sully wants to do and what he doesn't want to do.
Know.
This is what I've learned about Sully. It doesn't matter what he tells you. You never really know if he wants to be doing it or not. You hope, and occasionally, you'll catch a glimpse a year later that he wanted to do that thing. But through it, he's just like, this is great. This is awesome. We should do that.
It just seemed like a natural fit. They're doing great things, and I think we're doing pretty good things too. And it was an opportunity, I think, for us to hook up with a really hot brewery and for them to get their beers spread out across the country.
They are good looking.
Yeah, that's been amazing for us.
And Barry and I just came off a huge tour for 2 weeks
for this beer.
Doing these release parties. It was.
I don't know how rock stars do it. Man.
It was rough.
You probably didn't do enough drugs.
we tried.
Where did the tour take you?
San Diego.
Well, we started at Golden Squirrel right here.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, we started at Golden Squirrel in Oakland.
Okay.
And that was a great night. And then from there...
for you it was.
Well, come on.
All right, keep going.
Then
what happened to you that night?
I guess you got the
Sully?
I had my son there, and I had to leave.
Oh, okay.
So I made up for what he might have drunk. And
right.
I did not feel all that great the next day.
Yeah.
And then we went down to San Diego and did a couple of events down there. And then from there, we went on to Chicago.
Okay.
And Chicago was amazing. Had some really fun times there.
We played dodgeball.
Worst dodgeball game ever.
As part of the event?
It was an event that was already happening. It was a fundraising event for a bunch of local accounts, and they were meeting at this one bar. And so I get off the plane, I walk into this place, and it's there's got to be 300 people in there. And it's hardcore dodgeball. It's people in with outfits on and
knee pads.
And knee pads. They've been training.
Oh, my God.
I was coming up with my high school excuse, I got to go see the nurse. I have a headache.
I have asthma.
I have bone spurs. I can't do it.
It was intense.
Wow.
We lost.
Were there listeners there? Because I can see them being like, "There's Sully with the big head. Hit him with the ball."
I didn't get too much of that,
Okay.
but there were some people there that recognized your radio show. Yes,
thank you.
You're fishing for a compliment.
Did you get hit with a ball?
I eventually did.
Yeah,
but it was in the hotel with Barry after the game.
Wow.
Yeah. It wasn't one ball, it was two.
That was incredible, actually.
Best night of the tour.
You weren't wearing your high school gym shorts, were you?
No, I wasn't wearing this. They're really high. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and as Barry said outside, our staff just set the whole thing up. It was pretty incredible.
So you brewed the beer at the 21st Amendment Brewery in San Leandro.
That's right.
And that's why, because you guys aren't distributed in Chicago.
No.
Yeah. So you brewed the beer at 2&A, which means it can go to every place 2&A is distributed, right?
It's going across the country right now.
Got it. Okay. And was it always going to be a hazy IPA?
Yeah, I think it was. We weren't going to make a lager together, I don't think, and there was no plans to do that. And
That's too bad.
Fieldwork is really sorry, next time. Fieldwork's really known for hoppy beers. They have great affinity for that, and they make some great hazy IPAs as well. So it just seemed like a national.
They do.
Seemed like a great thing to. Something's in my ear right now.
Yeah.
And so it seemed like a national, an extension of kind of what they're doing, and then also the name kind of really fostered it even further with being a terrible idea.
Right.
Because the great thing about it is that we actually did a pilot brew of this at the pub in San Francisco, and I was really concerned about it settling out. So we bottled up some bottles and set them, left them alone for about a month, and we didn't get a lot of settling. But there was one point where somebody else had brewed a hazy IPA. I think a brewer had brewed a home brew, and had left the bottles in the refrigerator, and they completely settled out. And I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
What am I going to, how are we going to fix this? And so then I realized it was not the right bottle. Completely for 1 week there, I was just like, what are we going to do here?
No.
So, no, but it's been great. It's actually, it's held up pretty well. We like to say it's a little bit bitter, I think, than maybe a classic hazy IPA. We like to call it as a California hazy IPA, California Northeast IPA. Got a little bit.
Maybe a little.
Yeah.
Not a lot.
I think it's definitely got a good firm bitterness in the front end. It lasts all the way through.
And it's funny because we had, you go from brewing at the pub in San Francisco to brew it on a 500 barrel tank, 100 barrels at a time, and you're adjusting. And I think that we did 3 batches of this.
So that means you did 300 barrels, or
we did? It was 500 barrel batches, so 1,500 barrels total.
Wow!
And we didn't yield that because, as Alex wanted to do, which was a terrible idea, 4 pounds per barrel for dry hopping.
Well, it's the whole cone.
So the yield was less than that. But anyway, we kind of adjusted it each time as you move along. So I'm kind of excited that we're going to keep making this beer, actually. I don't know if I told you guys this is going to be a variety pack.
Nice.
I love it.
Keep it up.
Oh, yeah, I know this scam.
And I think we'll... oh, that's right. Have to redesign the package if it takes off.
Yeah.
Wait.
Ben Franklin, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
Called Benjamin IPA.
And if anyone gets a chance to see this across the country, the packaging on this beer is just amazing.
It's really nice. Yeah.
And they already 21A does everything right, but branding is really top notch for them. And this, when I first saw the package and the way it was put together, I was blown away.
Yeah.
And I even gave one to my dad.
Yeah, nice.
A 6-pack to my dad.
Nice.
He was proud. He's very proud.
It's like reading the comics. It's got like a story on each.
It is. If you go to thebrewingnetwork.com right now, you'll see it as the image for this show that you're listening to. If you got this on iTunes, just go check it out. You can see all the packaging right there.
Yeah, we're depicted as cavemen.
Yeah, I saw that.
Brewers are cavemen.
I was trying to figure out which one was you and which one was
There's actually names on it.
Oh, there is? Because I only saw the...
And Hugo's on there, too. Yeah.
So if this goes into seasonal, are you going to replace Hugo with Teddy Roosevelt on the label?
No more dead presidents.
Oh.
Yeah, it's you got a woolly mammoth being dragged along with on a sled with like triangle wheels.
Yeah,
I mean there's a whole.
Oh yeah, Justin, you would need to see all four sides.
I do. I got to check it all
out.
But
I'm the one with the club there.
Okay, got
to save Nico from the saber-toothed tiger.
Nico's the one hanging from a stick.
Yes,
He's
hanging from a stick.
But wasn't that a story? Where did that story come from? Because that came out of the conversation we all had.
That was the black tar pit. That was the story.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
and that one's not even appropriate for the Brewing Network.
No, we're totally telling that. No,
but it does look like Nico's hanging over a tar pit right now.
I had to think about why that story's good. And that, yeah.
Damn it!
I'm just playing innocent here because I completely forgot it.
Well, it's about Back in Black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bathroom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll leave that away from the listeners' ears then.
People are eating now.
So I want to talk about how the beer's made, but before we take a break, I wonder if I could ask a question because I never know how this works, and I wonder if our listeners are curious too. You do a collaboration beer, right? You brew it at the 21st Amendment, and the 21st Amendment sells all this beer. How do you guys financially collaborate? And you don't have to give me like the contract, but I'm always curious like how breweries financially collaborate, or do they?
Well, actually it's interesting because well, Tasty, we gave these guys $500,000. No. What, did you get? No. So the way it works is the invited brewery. So the brewer that owns it, the brewer that puts it out, because we have to sell it through our network.
Yeah,
we own it.
Okay. And you bought the ingredient and the packaging.
We bought all the ingredients and all that. I mean, what we like to say is that there's marketing value by being associated with this. So we can't. I don't know if we can legally pay them to be part of it.
And that's what I really wondered. Is
I
how
don't think
that
the
would work at
finance
all.
person at 21st Amendment has actually seen the bill for these beers yet.
Right. With the four, and
with the
that's
4
why
pounds.
Alex was like, "Oh, you're brewing it and selling it, 4 pounds of hops per barrel."
Well, no, I mean that's why it's
We'll
actually
see if it still makes the variety pack.
But it's a great question because of that, though, is it does throw in, when you're doing collaborations, kind of a interesting dynamic where you might be pushing for something, and then the brewery you want to brew with is like, that's going to be a no from me, dog.
Right.
No, so, like, I always, anytime we do a collaboration, I always lead off with, we're not using our Galaxy.
Okay.
We're not using any Nelson. Like, those are for those beers.
There's
we
some
can't touch them.
protection there.
But you can pick whatever you want from this and that. And then I'll say also, like, sometimes people, like, there can be a little back and forth. I remember one of our first collaborations we ever did was with Alpine. And I can't say enough amazing things about them. Like, they're just the nicest damn people. But they actually brought us up a bunch of hops for the beer because they knew we were brand new.
Okay.
We did not have a pot to piss in yet.
Right.
And it was
we still don't have a pot to piss in.
Yeah, right.
You've got 6 pots to piss in. You're just not filling them up with cash yet.
Yeah. Lots and lots of urine. So, but no, it was one of like the coolest things ever. And so I made sure like we pay that forward. And so we've definitely collaborated with some like brand new breweries, and I made sure to bring a box or 2 of hops with me and help them along their way. And
I was always just curious about that because it does seem like this great brotherhood of an idea, but it always has to be brewed at one brewery. Yeah. And I just
right. And I,
we did. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say that the opportunity to collaborate with 21st Amendment. I mean, they're a giant in this industry, and they help create.
Giant.
Yeah, are you like number 5 on the like all-time big brewery list or something?
No. I think it's like 100.
You're in the top 10.
No, we're not in the top 10.
I saw it. You're in the top 10, aren't you?
No, we're 26.
20.
Oh, is that what it is?
But I mean, that's
30. Okay.
But that's huge.
But when I say that to you, I want you to kick me in the nuts because I still can't believe it. I mean, really, out of 6,000 breweries,
that's
I'm like
really
sitting
big
here,
deal.
this guy with this face.
Yeah, that makes you a giant, though. Barry's right.
Nobody knows more surprised than we are.
It's a big deal.
I appreciate that. Keep
and,
it
and for a beer to roll out with our name on it nationwide, with a group of individuals in a company that is just first class.
Yeah.
we were ecstatic and we're grateful.
Well, and forgive me, I didn't mean to diminish any of that. I think that those are all the reasons one should collaborate. I just literally have never had a group of people in here that I could ask the question. I feel comfortable with you guys. Because I just...
Well, come over here and sit on my lap. Let me tell you another story. It's like, here's another a collaboration we did. We did a collaboration with Hog Island Oyster Company.
Yeah.
So we did this oyster stout. So we're using their Sweetwater oysters. And their branding's all over it. They didn't get anything out of it.
Right.
I mean, not financially.
But a lot
of goodwill. They love it. They serve
and a lot of marketing. Yeah.
People saw their brand more places.
Yeah.
Associated with a good beer brand. So
Yes.
Good is good.
And how many states are you in, Sully?
I think we're in 28, 29.
Wow.
26 last year.
Yeah, we just opened up Arizona and Connecticut.
Why are you laughing at Connecticut?
My home state?
Because if you look at, I think it's Connecticut.
You're about to insult however many people live in Connecticut.
It's one of them tiny New England states.
No, it was just one of those things because we opened up all the entire Northeast a handful of years ago, and I want to say Connecticut was one state for some reason that you didn't open it up.
So, Justin, you're from Connecticut?
Yeah, I was born in Connecticut.
So, is it you still can't buy beer there on Sundays?
No, you can now. Now it's up to the liquor store. It's the package store, we call them, actually.
I lived there for 3 years, and I had to go across the border to New York to buy beer on Sundays.
It's changed in the last 5 or maybe even a little more. Yeah. The blue laws were no holidays, no Sundays, and not after 8 p.m. So it was rough. I remember being there on a Labor Day weekend. And I drink a lot of beer, right? It's Labor Day weekend. So, but we would just keep going and buying beer in California. Out there, on Saturday or Friday, you go buy your beer to last you to Tuesday for a holiday weekend.
The backup day.
It was we needed a pickup truck to go get that done. Because I was always if we run out, you go get more beer. It's not a problem. But they changed that, and now it's up to the package store. A lot of them have decided it's a huge positive. The 8 or 9 o'clock thing, though, might still be the case, which is also a lot of planning.
That's a terrible idea.
It's a lot of planning. You get off work at 5 or something, and you got to figure out. I don't know. You just want dinner.
You change your mind. You're going to get there too late. Oh, shit,
you get there too late now. Exactly. So I don't like that part either. Yeah. California, man, we kind of got it. We kind of got it made, if you think about it. The 2 a.m. deal is pretty good.
About to be 4 a.m. maybe.
Is it really?
Yeah,
that could be trouble.
That's a terrible idea.
It really could be trouble.
That is a terrible idea.
Said unironically by everybody in this room.
Because we know ourselves.
Yes.
And our customers.
Yeah. It's got a good chance of passing the legislature, I guess.
That's interesting. Yeah. Is that for retail establishments too, or just package store, liquor stores?
No, it's for bars and restaurants.
It's for bars and restaurants. So
I don't know how it extends to package stores, but
when we opened this place, all the places around us here in Todos Santos closed by 10, 11 at the latest, and I wanted to be open later. And my GM said, yeah, we can be open a little later, that's fine, but we don't want to stay open too late. And I was like, well, hey, look, our liquor license is till 2, why don't we give it a shot? And he's like, all right, I'm going to do you the favor. We're going to give it a shot. But I'm going to tell you before we do that nothing good happens after midnight.
You guys got robbed, didn't you?
Because we didn't quite get robbed, but boy, does it turn into a shit show after midnight. And it's not just that. The way he proved it to me, too, was that the numbers don't add up anyway. Yeah. Because by then, you get a couple people that are still buying, but everyone else is just nursing a drink until 2 a.m. And the ones that are buying are nothing but trouble. And so he taught me real quick with the abysmal numbers and us having to throw people out of here for being trouble. I think it took 2 weekends for me to go, yep, you're right, midnight's good. Nothing good happens after midnight.
It's like last call at a beer festival. I mean, you have people can I just drink out of the dump bucket, please? I mean, that's what it would probably be like, I'd imagine.
Pretty much. All right, let's do this. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to find out all about this beer, what's in it, how you made it. I want to know how you got the haze to stay in if you sat it on a shelf for a couple of months. So we're going to talk about all those things when we come back. Hang in there. It's The Session.
You're listening to the Brewcasters.
The Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
Your support of the Brewing Network means everything to us. We couldn't produce shows without you. And we love giving you something extra for that support, like Brew Your Own magazine. You already know it's a great brewing magazine full of recipes, equipment how-tos, discussions of beer styles, and brewing techniques. Whether you're new to brewing and just starting out or you're an old pro, you'll always learn something from the articles in Brew Your Own. Plus, there are amazing special issues like plans for building a Brutus 10 system, 250 classic clone recipes, and the Homebrewer's Answer Book. Brew Your Own magazine and BYO.com are awesome resources for any brewer. Whether for yourself or as a gift, when you subscribe or resubscribe from the Brewing Network homepage, you directly support programs like this. Get a great magazine and support the Brewing Network. Subscribe to Brew Your Own right from thebrewingnetwork.com.
Are you looking for a simple brewing system that's great for all grain brewing, but everything on the market seems to be full of compromises? Blickman Engineering has the answer. The Blickman Brew Easy All Grain Brewing System. The Brew Easy is a complete system with easy upgrades and a beautiful compact design, perfect for any size brewing location. At its core, the Brew Easy is built on two gorgeous Blickman Boilermaker brew kettles, a high-temperature March pump, and either a top-tier gas burner or the new Boil Coil electric heater. The Brew Easy adapter lid allows the pots to stack on top of each other, forming an efficient, strong, and compact brewing setup that comes in 5, 10, and 20-gallon batch sizes. Upgrade your Brew Easy system with full automated control by adding a Blickman Tower of Power temp controller, and make moving around easy with the Blickman Kettle Cart. The Brew Easy is modular. If you already own a Boilermaker kettle, you can build your Brew Easy by purchasing just the modules you need. The new Brew Easy all-grain brewing system. See it today at BlickmanEngineering.com and brew with Blickman quality on your new Brew Easy.
Hello, this is David Walker from the Firestone Walker Brewing Company. You are listening to The Session on the Brewing Network.
All right, welcome back to the program. This segment is brought to you by the American Homebrewers Association, a community of more than 45,000 individuals who share a common passion. That's beer. Since 1978, the AHA has promoted and advanced the most delicious hobby in the world, providing brewing resources, supporting homebrewer-friendly legislation, offering exclusive member deals at breweries and homebrew shops, and hosting one-of-a-kind events like HomebrewCon and the National Homebrew Competition. Join your beer-loving peers at homebrewersassociation.org and thank them for being a sponsor for so long. All right, we are still hanging out with the 21st Amendment Brewery and Fieldwork Brewing, and we're talking about their collaboration beer, which is called A Terrible Idea. It's a hazy IPA. We were drinking it in the last segment, but we didn't even talk about the beer, really, so let's do that this time around. First of all, tell us about the beer. You guys decided on a hazy IPA.
Well, they're very popular now, if you don't know that.
They are. They're super popular. What? Give me the basic stats, right? The vitals, the ABV, the IBUs. What are we looking at here?
So
a lot of all-purpose baking flour.
Exactly. There's a lot of flour in there. No, it's about 6.8% alcohol.
Okay.
The BUs are probably 37 measured. I mean, it's just loaded with a bunch of gluten, basically. And this is a real challenge.
What does that mean when you say it's loaded with gluten?
We've got wheat, oats,
okay.
Unmalted wheat in here, golden naked oats. It's just a lot of stuff that's basically going to create this haze.
Okay.
And the idea is that you're creating a point of suspension for hop flavor and all that.
Got it.
And this is a dog to make because we thought we had a handle on it. We were lautering this beer. It didn't run. It ran okay the first time, but we had to put a lot of rice hulls in it, basically, sort of to get this thing to run through the lauter tun. So that was interesting.
You're doing 500 barrel batches.
100 barrel batch at a time, 500 barrels to fill a tank. Yeah.
I'm trying to imagine how much rice hulls that is. What are we talking?
I think we added. I mean, we adjusted it as we went because the first couple of brews were like, oh shit. And then so I think we upped them to, I don't have it here in the log, but
it's a ton, right?
It was I want to say 5 bags or something crazy like that.
Oh, that's not as much as I would have thought. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's still a shitload of rice hulls, though.
Yeah. What would you how big is your system at
so
Berkeley?
We're 0.5 barrel. So.
Okay. And so you would have one sack of rice hulls.
We half a bag usually does it. Those things are,
They're also a dog to work with.
I was going to say, they're a total pain in the dick. Like,
Why are they? I thought they just make things easier. What's hard about them?
Oh, no, it's getting the rice hulls out of the bag.
Yeah, so
they're hard packed in there.
Yeah, they're like, it's just exactly. It's just it's once you open it up, it wants to blow. It wants to leave. So you're like, you open it up, and you're trying to get it in, and you have to add it a certain time. You don't want to add it initially, even though we have this great agitator in our mash tun. It's still like, you got to get in there halfway through, and you're like, and when do you add it? And also when we layer in the malt too, as well. Like, we want to make sure we have a firm base of base malt in there as well, and so we're layering in all these, this high protein gluten malt in there,
and the
rice hulls as well.
The purpose of the rice hulls, of course, is to add like a filter so that you don't have a stuck mash.
To create the natural filter bed that you'd have with your regular grain that you'd be using. But since we're using huskless grain,
right,
which is gummy, that's just going to like basically stick everything up.
So it's kind of lauder as well as a husk grain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you guys use beta glucanase?
No, we did not.
See, God damn it, Shaun.
What would that do?
There you go. It breaks down the beta glucans, so I mean, man, you hate your staff. I hope all of them are like, dude, fuck Shaun.
I'd probably say that anyway. But
it just
this was a collaboration. You could have chimed in at any time.
I emailed you. We use this much beta glucanase. We use this much rice hulls. It's in there. If it's not,
you didn't text him though, because
you didn't.
Oh, I might have. That was a DM on Grindr. My bad, dude.
Did that wrong?
Beta glucanase. What is this supposed to be?
Yeah,
it's like mayonnaise. But
I was going to say, and it auto corrected to mayonnaise.
Right.
Thanks for doing that trick with mayonnaise. I appreciated it. But no, yeah. So, but I mean, that was kind of the funny thing that I think we didn't think about going into this was what we can brew on our system and what works for us. It never translates brewery to brewery. It's why recipes don't really matter, because everyone can brew the same recipe and it's going to taste different at every brewery. So,
right.
And it was, I felt bad. He was like, dude, fuck this louder. I was like, I know that feeling.
But we had a whole bunch of rice hulls on, on standby and all this. And actually, it ended up running well. I remember one time we added too many, and we ended up and the wort. I think one 100-barrel batch, and the wort ran clear, and everyone was like panicked because it's so funny because you want clear wort, which is like we're all like it's in our DNA as brewers.
But not this time,
yeah. But now you're like, no, that thing has to be as hazy as anything. So.
Right. Now, if you had used a beta glucanase, it would break down things in order to make it louder, but wouldn't take away from what you're trying to keep in the beer.
So it breaks down the beta glucanase and it prevents it sticking in your mash.
But that doesn't take away the things you're trying to keep in the beer.
No, so I mean,
I guess
that's a wormhole of science that I don't think.
Okay.
I mean, if you added more, I think there'd be an issue with that. But I mean, the idea is that you want it. You're kind of trying to find the sweet spot. Like you're trying to get haze, but you also want to be able to brew the beer at the same time. So
right. Okay, so then while we're on the mash, I want to ask this, because you mentioned doing the pilot batch and the beer.
I love this part. We never geek out like this. It's usually just like dick and cock jokes. So those are the same thing, by the way.
Those are coming up.
Yeah,
right. Give us another beer.
Yeah, where's Doc?
Exactly. Well, you talked about doing a pilot batch and then sitting the beer on a shelf for a month or two.
It's about a month,
and that it didn't go clear.
No, it didn't.
But many do. So what did you do different? Why is this beer a little more? Is the haze anyway a little more shelf stable?
Semen.
I see. Why didn't you? Okay. I wish everyone had known.
Well, do polyphenols do they drop out?
Not really.
Yeah.
So I mean,
so the haze, a lot of it's contributed to by the amount of hops.
Polyphenols.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you guys have experimented a ton with this at Fieldwork. That's why I'm asking. You knew if we do this, it's not going to drop out.
Yeah. So I'm the worst brewer ever because.
No, I thought I was.
Well, no, I'm just one of those people who I try not to overthink everything so much, and so I just know what works for me, and I stick to it. And, we've gotten into those long, drawn-out conversations with I won't name drop right now, but like our friends who will then want to just dig so deep into the science of it. And, I know some of them have sent other breweries' beers to labs and tested them, and spun them, and I don't care. Every brewery is going to be different. Every quote unquote hazy IPA.
Yeah.
It's going to be something different.
And you just found what works on your system.
Exactly.
But it sounds like you still built the malt bill in such a way that you assumed it would stay cloudy. Because also, you all knew that this beer was getting shipped across the country.
Yeah.
So you had to make some plans for this. Because you're going to call it, put hazy IPA all over this can, and then I buy it in Chicago.
Well, that's the beauty of having it in a can, by the way, is you can't see it's cleared out. So when you pour it, it's all going to
Everything at the bottom is going to come out anyway.
It's all going to come together. But yeah, actually, we had an idea because we were concerned about that. Was we were going to put the cans upside down, and so you had to turn it back right side up.
The old kegging a wit beer trick.
Yeah. Why did you decide against that?
I don't know. I think it didn't work out. The conversation didn't continue. But we do actually our Hell or High Watermelon wheat beer. We actually ship it upside down, and with this beer, we're actually shipping it upside down as well.
Okay, but it's packaged right side up. You're just shipping it upside down.
Well, the kegs are. The kegs are shipped upside down.
Got it. Okay.
But the cans, there was a conversation to basically put them in the box upside down.
Okay.
Which would have been great because it would have kept this story going. Terrible idea. Like, why is this? I mean, if anybody would notice, like, is this?
No, you should have done half of them upside down, the other half right side up.
You imagine scratching your head like, what the hell is going on here?
Look at Widmer, still relevant after all these years, shipping their Widmer half upside down all that time.
The idea.
Yeah, of course.
I didn't know that's where that came from. I just always knew.
Well, just when I was a bartender, they were the only kegs that ever showed up upside down. I thought it was always a Widmer thing. I don't even think the German beers did that. Importers, they just shipped half of Weizen and stuff.
If it sends you a keg, here you go, drink it.
Yeah, just drink it. Well, they didn't know what to do with it. They were used to just having it fresh and then ship it across overseas. They don't give a shit. All right.
Well, this upside down thing, is this a solution in search of a problem? Do these beers settle out? Does this beer
in the can? We haven't seen it happen. So
it's not a problem.
It was just a way to sort of mitigate that that potential. So that's why we did
There's
that.
There's another chance to win.
All right, what else is in the beer?
That's it, just that.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because of this. When you brew these beers, it just goes against I've been doing this for 24 years, and as a brewer, you're like, wait, we're not in any hops at the beginning of boil. So that was one thing. Say we had a pound of hops, for 100 barrels, right at the beginning of boil, just to and I think that was too much. I mean, Alex tells me this story they had one pellet. At the beginning of boil, and essentially, I don't know.
That's the only kettle additions we honestly ever do. You throw when we collaborate with people, they actually think it's seriously important. We're like, no. It's so that my guys always know to start the boil timer.
I see.
Because it's if you've been brewing for any amount of time, it's ingrained in you that when you throw your 60-minute addition or 90, whatever your start of boil addition is, you then start the clock. And so for me, that was the weirdest thing is, all right, so we're not going to put any no hops in our kettle ever, hardly. So
wow.
So then you take the Whirlpool edition.
You had to start a clock to start a clock.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so we'll either steal a pellet from your Whirlpool edition, or from if somebody's dry hopping, you gotta go and grab a pellet. You throw it in a 5-gallon green bucket, like you would normally have your hop
bucket number one.
Yeah, totally. And you throw it in there, and I swear, if you watch my guys brew, you'll see them reach in, throw the one pellet. And
that
start
is
the clock.
ridiculous. So this whole no kettle hops is actually new to me. I'm a little slow on this. Over the years, we've gotten to less bittering hops and more late edition, and then we got into Whirlpool. But last week when we had Armistice on here is the first time I actually remember somebody saying, no, you're not hearing me right. 0 kettle hops. So this is new to me. And you're saying you do this with most of your beers?
Since day one, we really have never put anything in our kettle. It's been
What about your Pilsner that I just drank?
No, so Pilsner, stouts, things like that.
Okay. Your traditional styles, yes. But your hop-forward styles that you've become known for.
Double IPA, Pale Ale, we've never done kettle.
Anything where you want hop flavor,
you're
not willing to give up IBUs at the beginning to not get as much hop flavor at the end.
Yeah. So that just means they're all going in at the Whirlpool?
Whirlpool. Okay. And to be honest, we've done beers where we didn't even Whirlpool hop, just straight up dry hopping so high that
adds the bitterness you need.
Do you lower the temperature down at all, when you're doing Whirlpool,
No, so that's one thing.
People have been doing that. We did that at the pub, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're working right now with. You've seen our brew system, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So everyone's laughing right now because oh my God, we have the most dog shit ass brew house on earth.
Okay.
Oh my
God! It goes something like this. Hey, Shaun, it's Alex. Hey, what's going on, Alex? Hey, do you know a stainless welder you can turn me on to?
True story.
Yeah.
But why did I need it? Do you remember?
You had a leak or something.
No,
like
the
that.
fucking kettle cracked.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Wow.
So, no, this is like a constant thing. So, if anyone's ever wondering why our beer sucks so hard,
but they don't,
it's the brew house. So, we're working right now with some manufacturers so that because we're going to install an actual proper nice brew house.
Okay.
Which is I'm beyond excited for. It's going to give us so much more control over our beer.
What the fuck are you going to complain about then? Barry?
Man.
Oh, he'll find something.
Yeah. Probably, yeah. So, but yeah, that was one thing. They're all keep pushing me, the manufacturers, about we can route this and we can give you a jacketed whirlpool so you can drop temp. I don't give a shit. We've never
what's
done
the
that
idea of dropping temp at the whirlpool?
Well, you're not getting as much bitterness out of it. You're getting more of hop flavor and aroma.
So less volatilization of the aromas.
Okay, all right.
That too.
So you put in a pound of hops for this beer.
Yeah, that was our pellet.
And I feel like that. Yeah, that was just you feeling like.
And I think we added too much. I mean,
really?
I'm telling you though, you do it.
I think next time we're going to add a pellet.
Yeah,
I think you did it just because you couldn't not. It was so ingrained in you.
We're calculating out the bitterness and all that, and we're seeing where it's going to go eventually. But
that's where you fucked up. Don't do math. I've never done math on one beer we've ever made.
I don't.
Wow.
I refuse.
But we should have. The funny thing is that we have these hop dosers, so that the system's automated. It's got a program behind it and all this. And so I just imagine like taking one pellet and dropping it in the hop doser. Like, all right, here it goes. And into the kettle it goes.
Would have made a great video, though.
The automation is taken over.
Yeah.
Clearly, you didn't listen to my sales pitch on the name.
I think you only did the 1 pound because you couldn't bring it to yourself to not put in like a bittering.
That's probably true.
So then, did you put in the 1 pound and then nothing until whirlpool?
Yeah, we added mosaic in the whirlpool.
Okay. And is this where you added is this where the 4 pounds per barrel, or that's still not even till dry hop?
Yeah, so we added, what did we add? We added a box of mosaic.
One box in a 100 barrel. So that's
44 pounds.
It's still not so we're really talking about a dry hop beer.
It's all the perceived bitterness you're getting from all that dry hop.
It's shocking how much you can pay. I mean,
it's a lot.
Yeah, and again, this is why I don't like calculating too much on our beers because the numbers will fuck with your head, and
so
it will get you questioning what you're going to do.
If you're telling me you don't calculate, you must have a method, though. How are you figuring these things out?
Well, for what aspect? Of the beer,
well, like how much hops to put in.
So we'll go to grain first. So grain, okay. I've always done everything in Excel, and I don't calculate gravity points. I know our brewhouse efficiency slightly varies. We've had to weld our stainless.
Yeah, I mean, if it cracks, I imagine it varies on that day.
Our lauter ton, the false bottom's welded to the bottom. So yeah, it's not the most efficient.
Well, so do you calculate extract at all? I mean, you got to come up with
no.
Really?
I know.
But all these oats aren't going to have any extract.
I think Alex knows his system. It's experiential knowledge.
Exactly.
So he knows if we add this amount, we're going to get this.
Exactly.
So if we do it enough, it's like any old German brewer or anything like that. I mean, English brewers. Nobody was calculating anything back in the day. It wasn't until we started having these phones in our hand, looking like an old man now, where you were able to actually break it down.
Okay.
And so you just know, and then next time, that was too bitter. I'll make it less bitter.
I see.
Yeah, and I was trained the exact opposite. Like at Ballast, like Youssef is such a traditionalist. And I'm saying this as a positive thing. I absolutely adore the man. But I remember when we were doing recipes, and then every time a different hop would come in, it was like you had to recalculate for that change in the alpha acid and all this. And it's ingrained in the back of my mind. I just refuse to do it because the amount of time it takes is. We don't repeat beers very often, so I'd be sitting there just doing math all day long, every damn new beer.
You'd have a desk job.
Yeah, it would. I'd be back to the desk job.
Yeah,
and then, like Shaun said, I know our system. Like, we've brewed enough to where I know. So this much of this grain, this much of that will get us the gravity of this. And
so you write it down. Say you're a brewer, so you probably brew far more beer than you do. can make the beer.
They fought tooth and nail to get me on Google Docs. It took me
to write the recipe down.
2 years till I was willing to get on Google Docs.
Yeah,
and I finally did it, so that way they could actually
see the recipe.
Well, I would print it out for them. I type something out and print it and send it to them. So
on a typewriter.
On a typewriter.
Yeah, the paper airplane. He'd shoot it over this.
Yeah.
He's over there. Here's your recipe, guys. I fought to get you on Google Docs, as if that's a fucking highly technological.
No, that's about as tech savvy as I get. That's a big accomplishment for me. But I know our hops. I know, and that's the other thing is I don't like to get hung up on numbers because I don't. This is just me being fucking weird. I don't think in how fast is how fast. Like, I'm sorry, but like, make a beer with a ton of Equinox, shit's gonna be bitter as hell.
Like
every
this beer.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, but your goal isn't to make the same beer twice necessarily.
Well, no, you know what? So lately I've been...
When you brew the same McDoligan, and I heard you had Nelson, it doesn't have to be the same.
No, exactly. Well, so that's
a big mouth.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
You did a collaboration with them, too?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, but
no, it was a tribute beer.
No, but I mean...
They stroked him better, Sully.
I mean, this is why this was such a fun project for us.
That was so we didn't have to do royalties.
Yeah. But no, that's why this is such a fun project, is because I've never put the stress on myself or my team to make consistent beer. I want it to be a little different every time. I want it ideally to be better every time we make it.
Okay.
If it's consistent, it's flat, and it's not getting better. It should be getting better every time. So we go into it with that ethos, and then it was so fun to get to wrap my head around, well, no, like there's a totally different way to skin the cat, and this is such a different, it was the first time I felt really engaged in beer in a long time.
Nice.
Trying to take what we do and then apply it to what they do, and then make sure it's all these other things that I never have to worry about, think about. All of a sudden, I'm talking to Shaun, and I'm now having to think about all these other things.
Right.
So it's fun. Yeah.
Yeah, collaborations are always some sort of educational on both sides.
Yeah, and that's why you kind of do them. You get to learn, how does somebody do something, and it really helps you out in your brewery.
Okay. All right, so we left off at Mosaic.
You want to get back to the recipe?
Well, I just want to get through it. It'll give us more to talk about, too, I'm sure.
Right, so
a box of Mosaic went into the whirlpool.
Yeah, so for instance, just backing up a little bit here, like the Magnum, that 1 pound edition was contributed 2.3 IBUs to the beer.
Why do you guys choose Magnum?
Yes, they want to know.
That's Cocumian level.
That's exactly what I want to know.
No, we just said, fuck it, let's use it.
Yeah.
We have a lot of it. Also have Centennial and Cascade out there if anybody needs it. We have a lot of it. I'm serious. Brewers, you need it, please call me.
There you go. Sully Hop Exchange.
.com. We added 40, so like I said, we added a box of Mosaic that contributed about 49 IBUs to this. This is just the wort BUs. And then the dry hop was Citra, Mosaic, Calypso, and Equinox. Really heavily weighted in the Mosaic and the Citra, with Calypso and Equinox as well. So, and the beer ended up being 37 IBUs in the can, with wort BUs about 52. So we lose about 30% drop. And the reason I can
30% of the beer you lost.
No, 30% drop in BUs.
I'm sorry. Okay.
And that's lab BUs. Final.
Okay.
The reason I know that is I have an Excel spreadsheet on my phone.
Yeah.
And the great Preston Doris, who works for us, is the best brewer in the world. One of the best brewers in the world. Is somebody who went to brewing school, is also a math major. This guy, created this whole thing. Now we get to just play in this, in this Excel spreadsheet.
Well, not according to
on beer. He loves it.
Well, no, I mean, I wouldn't be able to create this thing by myself. Believe me, I had to have somebody else do it. I mean, I brew like
he's
Alex
a math
does.
He lied on his
You're a lucky guy to have
He
it.
took one Excel course at community college and then showed up with a 2-1 and was like, I'm a math major.
No,
and Sully was like, wow, that spreadsheet's incredible. I've never seen anything like it.
Actually, funny story, my desk job before I got into brewing, I had a part-time job at APL President Lines, and I was in their legal department. So this is when I was actually an assistant brewer at Triple Rock, and they asked me to do some Excel spreadsheet work, and so I fudged my way through it, and then I was known around well, you're the Excel spreadsheet guru. I was like, no idea what I was doing.
I was faking it.
Yeah, he's like, I made 4 columns once. That's what I did. I deleted the other 7.
Send him upstairs to Joe's office. He'll help out. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah. So, how much of the beer did you lose to hops? So, and let me try to get this right. You do 100 barrels at a time in the kettle, and then you do that 5 times to fill up one fermenter?
Yep.
So you just keep that going until the fermenter's
we do
full.
5 brews,
And then you dry hop a full 500-barrel fermenter.
Yeah. So do the math. 4 pounds per barrel. That's 2,000 pounds. That's a ton of hops.
That's a ton of
That's
hops.
a shit ton of hops.
So you end up with like 30 barrels per. This is my math.
Well, we typically lose about 15% on our hoppy beers. I want to say this was higher. I want to say maybe it was 25, but I might have made that
still
up.
fantastic.
I feel like 15% is amazing. I didn't realize one would lose so much beer. That's crazy.
Yeah, I actually we had a concern in house, so I reached out to Matt Brynelson and Mitch Steele and said, "What do you guys think of this?" He was like, "No, that sounds about right."
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. And it's all
name
pellets,
dropping.
right?
Yeah, did you like
Yeah,
that?
I like that name drop. You know, I had a problem, so I just hit up Matt Brynelson and Mitch Steele, and they told me I'm amazing. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I go to the home brew forum.
That actually sounds amazing. You're amazing.
Yeah.
I feel like that's in Tasty's head.
Sorry, we all have to Google shit, Shaun.
Yeah.
You could call it. Actually, it is funny because
Google Mitch Steele.
If I texted either of them, they'd be like, "Who the fuck are you, and how'd you get my number?"
Yeah. Stop calling me.
Yeah.
25% you think. Now, if you had used whole hops, it would be ridiculous, right?
We wouldn't have been able to make this beer.
Yeah, how do you make
They have to be up above the takeoff. We're going to be able to get them out of there.
How do you think? So Sierra has a hazy beer now.
Yeah.
Do you think they're cheating on their
they're
whole hop
dry
thing?
hopping differently.
Yeah, they are.
Well, they're using the torpedo to dry hop.
I think they might be using pellets too.
I can't remember.
I might have made that up, by the way.
Yeah, I don't.
That's a guess.
You want me to call Ken Grossman right now? I'll just call him.
I can't remember.
Actually.
But I mean, I think that's it's a good thing though to bring. I mean, I don't think we would have ever done this beer had that beer not come out and been so fucking good. Because
I love that beer.
You're a dick if you don't love that beer.
Thank you.
We were in Chico hanging out, and we went to what's that awesome bicycle bar there?
Oh yeah,
it's called the Handlebar, right? The Handlebar.
Yeah, there you go.
And I saw the thing. I'm like, Sierra Nevada hazy IPA. Like I don't follow beer online really, so I'm like, oh, this is exciting. I wasn't expecting. I was like, let's try it. Got it, smelled it. I'm like, God damn! Like they just walked up to the table, dropped the cock hammer, and walked away. I'm like, all right, cool, man. Of course you guys can do that. Like,
I agree.
They can do anything, and they proved that this can be something that can go. I always said this can't. You know, I fucking hate saying it. "Quote unquote" hazy IPA. I've always been somebody who said it doesn't travel, it doesn't last, it's local. Get it at the closest place to you. And then they went and they're like, "You're dumb."
Yeah,
and then
they nailed it.
Oh yeah, and that beer was outstanding.
I didn't know. I'm a little slow with this. I don't pay attention to the beer trends. I hear about them here on the show. So I didn't know about the whole hazy beer thing. So the first hazy beers that I liked, but I didn't know that it had a name and everything, actually were yours.
Why, thank you.
Then when I knew...
You hear that, Shaun?
Name dropper.
Yeah, I name drop right here in the
Blowing
studio.
you perfectly right now.
Then when I knew it was a whole style thing, I had several that I didn't enjoy until that Sierra. And somebody gave me a can of that Sierra, and I was like, that's a hazy IPA.
Yeah.
So, yours I didn't know it was a thing yet, and then theirs, it's great beer.
You got to get out more often.
I know. I do. Not in the beer world. I do other things now.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I barely do that.
You want to talk about it?
No, but I just...
Are you going to do a podcast
you're gonna
for
get
something else you're
about
doing?
Something? No. I can't make everything I love into work.
Let's talk about
too much like work.
That's the thing. And listen, I still love beer, and I enjoy being on the show and talking about beer, and I enjoy going to a bar and drinking about beer. But I don't like. I'm not like seeking out what's the next thing and what's everybody talking about.
Way. People
and,
think I am, but I'm not.
Well, I think anybody who was in this around the time I think a lot of us are at the exact place you are.
Yeah.
Most of us are like, it's just beer.
Yeah,
we
it's
love
beer.
it, and it's awesome, but
kind of over
that's always my answer. It's just beer. And I like trying all the new stuff, and if it crosses my path, I'm going to have it, and I enjoy it, and I don't care if it's a style or not. None of that shit matters to me. But it's all just beer. It's just beer.
Yeah. And it's okay, though. It's okay that it's just beer.
I think so.
And it is, and if you want to geek out on it, I mean, it's okay, too. I mean,
I agree.
but I
I
don't
wouldn't
even
have a
know how to use
job
my phone.
if it wasn't okay for people to geek out on it.
Yeah.
But it just when I think a lot of our listeners and stuff know now that they see me elsewhere, they just ask me about something else. You know, yeah, how's your Volkswagen doing?
What's your
It's
shirt
shit
mean?
like that? Yeah, yeah. But there are still some that are like, hey, let's try this beer, let's try that beer. Have you had this? And I'm just like, yeah, I don't care. It's fine. It's good. Thanks.
You know, part of this tour, we went down to San Diego and we went to Modern Times Festival of Dankness. Man, you want to see like a lot of really new, interesting beers that are coming out right now. It was pretty incredible.
That sounds good.
And that is one of the only things I do is I go to that festival every year, and I go to a few other things. But and other than that, you know, I think we just do what we do, and
yeah,
I think that makes it kind of more fun to insulate yourself a little bit and to get into your own shit and
see that's
what
the
you can
excuse
do.
I've always used too, especially here in podcasts.
So
I'm
you
like,
picked up on the bullshit.
Yeah, I'm like, well, if you go read too much about it, you don't innovate. You got to find it yourself.
You kind of, I mean, it's a little bit more of a. I mean, I completely agree with you. In fact, I kind of subscribe to that. But it's challenge. You know, when you're a packaged brewery like we are, you got to kind of always be looking over your shoulder, like, oh, what are they doing over there?
Yeah.
What's kind of new right now? Let's see what's you have to innovate.
You're right.
Subtle packaging brag, by the way. You know, when you're in 29 states, you know, you have to think about a little more than you guys.
Hang on a second. What were you saying? Mitch is on the phone right now. His name is Alex Tweet. Yeah, I don't know. I know it's not. He's not tweeting. His name is Alex Tweet.
Yeah. Don't answer his text.
Yeah.
Make him Google you. What about yeast? Cal Ale? Or do you have to use English yeast?
We used the, what was it? The...
You went with Giga?
Yes.
So you did get the email then?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I got that one.
There you go. See? Fucking caught him in a lie right
1,500 barrels
there.
later, he's finding out he did it the right way. Wow.
Well, but you can pronounce giga yeast. You can't pronounce beta-glucanase very well. So it's easier, it's shorter.
Yeah. Apologies, Shaun.
It's just like protein strength. Very short process.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it was GYO54.
Yes.
So is that like a low flocculating yeast? Is that what you want?
Was it though?
Or you don't care?
I mean,
Has a
I love
fruitier
it.
flavor.
Yeah, it's got a really nice fruity ester. There's like 50 fucking options now for you know, the quote unquote hazy IPA yeast. To me, theirs is definitely got the best balance of aromatics with predictability.
Aren't they all just English strains? Aren't they all like an English yeast? Because everyone always mentions the esters.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I think about it not like falling out.
Yeah.
So they're all just some form of English strain, right?
So, I mean,
there's an English strain, yeah.
They're all a derivative of a mutated English strain, but they're all very, quite different, and they perform very differently.
Do you use multiple?
We've gone through a lot of different, would you call it a retailer for yeast? I don't know. Either way, we've gone through a lot of different yeast manufacturers, and we really settled on Giga yeast because that one, like I said, it was one of the most predictable.
Okay.
Again, this goes back to me just being lazy and not doing math.
They're also local.
I
They'll
know
deliver the stuff to you like
that's
that
true.
day.
Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah,
Lazy.
free overnight delivery.
Exactly.
Oh, that's pretty good.
So. But no, that's awesome. It's a predictable strain. We know where it's going to finish out at based on, I can look at a malt bill I write and know where that yeast is going to finish at.
Okay.
So with 500 barrel fermenters, and I know from some being at the brewery, you do a yeast spring for your house yeast. What did you do in this case? Just a cone to cone?
Well, we don't do cone to cone. We have yeast tanks, and so what we'll do is we'll actually prop it up in there as well, with agitators on there, and then we never go cone to cone because we'll go into the brinks, and then we're pitching by weight, and then we'll go on from there. So
nice.
We did a good job.
Thank you. I mean, don't thank me. Thank the staff. I mean, they're the ones that were like, they killed it. I mean, honestly, they're the ones that are doing it every day. I come up with the idea on this one with Alex, of course, but they're the ones that are opening up those big rice hull bags,
right? Blowing up in their face.
I was going to say they're the ones cleaning the rice hulls off the top of the lauter tank.
Exactly. I mean, we had some pretty crazy brew days. I mean, they just went really long, like where you're just the lauter just endless, and you're just trying to make it work. So
okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's a great beer, and you think this is now going to end up in the seasonal lineup?
Yeah, I think so. Well, depending on how the rest of this show goes.
See if y'all still like each other at the end.
No, we're going to do it.
I'm the only one not laughing.
No, it'll definitely be in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I was probably passed out for a second there. You didn't mention the malts. I assume oats and
yeah, no, we did talk about them. You did pass.
That was like an hour.
We did it quickly though. We rushed over
any
it.
naked oats?
Yeah. So we put in.
Mentioned the hustlers. So I assume.
Yeah. So we had our R2 row. We put Simpson's Golden Promise in, which we both really like. Crisp malted oats, raw unmalted wheat, and Simpson's Golden Naked Oats.
That is just a lot.
What percent are they golden naked? Can you tell percentages there?
10, I think.
I can't tell you that part legally. Tasty, we'll talk about that later.
Off the air.
And it's 10% actually.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Is that a common one, Tasty, that you find?
And the haze. Forget the protein for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Now you centrifuged in your brew. Did you centrifuge this beer?
Yeah, we did centrifuge it. So we're just trying to remove some of the yeast. So it's and we just ran that thing as fast as we could.
As short a time as you could, you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure that out.
Slow it down, but the pump's running fast.
I see. Cool. And you had to do that just to get yeast out, you're saying?
Yeah, we want to remove some material, but you want to, especially yeast. I mean, hazy IPAs, I think you don't want a lot of yeast in there. You want all the other material.
No, you want the polyphenols, and they're lighter than yeast.
And the protein.
Yeah.
And so you want to get the yeast out. That's where you're going to end up with your problem with settling.
Okay.
With sediment at the bottom of a can or a bottle.
And them just straight up tasting bad. I mean, I'm sure a lot of the ones you get, like, I'm hypersensitive to that kind of aspirin bite when there's too much yeast in suspension. And, that's why, I mean, again, this is what was cool about it, was my guys constantly bitching at me for a centrifuge.
Right.
And then them getting to see how much smoother it goes when you can fire that thing through a centrifuge.
And I never would have thought that you did it at all, actually. I never would have thought that. Did you have to experiment with that? Like, okay, how can we do this so that we're not losing what we want?
My girlfriend's calling me right now.
You want me to talk to her?
Nice, I have a girlfriend, Brad, Shaun. Jesus, do you ever stop gloating?
Babe, I can't talk to you. I'm on the air right now.
Yeah. No, hi,
God,
Christy
really
Brinkley. No, I don't have time right now.
Hang on, it's my model girlfriend.
Yeah, use the Mercedes.
Right. Yeah.
No, not the white one, the black one.
She thought I'd be home earlier. She's going to go eat dinner.
Yeah.
So.
No, the summer home, no, that's occupied that week. Yeah. No, that's right, sweetheart.
Sure. Philip took the G5. That was...
Yeah.
Philip. Where did that come from? What were we talking about?
I was asking if you had to experiment with the centrifuge to get it right, too, to not do too much or too little.
Yeah, well, I'm not as intimate with that when that happened, but I know we had some challenges, and we had some long centrifuge runs. Definitely had that happen. So, and we were learning it while we were doing this beer, honestly.
That is kind of like...
That's what one-time shots are.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that I think people should hear. I mean... That's ballsy as hell that they were like, we'll just brew 500 barrels of this. I was like, that's crazy.
We went from 12 barrels to 500. I mean, it's just like,
wow,
straight up.
Alex is like, dumbass.
And then we're tweaking it, we're trying to tweak it, with each iteration, even within brews, like, that didn't work out too well. Let's try it. The runoff there was, horrible. Let's try to do it this time. So we're always adjusting it the whole step of the way. Cool. Adjusting bitterness, just trying to get it all dialed in.
That's honestly, the great part about it.
But that's, it's kind of like speaking to what Alex said earlier. I mean, they don't repeat a lot of beers, but when you do, you have the opportunity to kind of adjust as you go. And so and as we make this beer, I think this beer will evolve, I think it'll become and on all our beers. I mean, we're always trying to tweak it here or there.
But see, Alex, even with 500, you're saying like, holy shit, they're just going for it with the. The inverse of that, though, is you're like one and done. You do the batch and that's it. He actually gets to blend 5 brews into that. So that's
but still coming through one canning line.
It sounds like we're adjusting each time, but we can't really make an adjustment until the third batch. Yeah. So we start, we mash in, and then we're moving it to the lauter ton. And once it gets to the kettle, we kind of we know what we have, but we're already
moving. Okay,
we're already moving along.
Can't change the grain bill on the second one.
Yeah.
I understand. Okay.
Can't the third.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a 4-vessel system.
Got it. Okay.
You should come by sometime and check it out. I don't know if you've ever been there before.
I have. I love it.
In Stanley
I'm waiting till you build the amphitheater inside. I just, I go down and pick up beer from time to time.
Oh, that's right. You did stop in recently.
And
thanks for saying hello.
I also, I asked for you. You were in a meeting. They went into the meeting and you refused me.
I think it was something
you
like
said,
that. Who was it?
You shooed them away.
It's
and
not Mitch
said,
or Matt? No, let him go.
You said, exactly.
They're like, look at this guy name dropping.
Yeah, is his last name Steele? No. Oh, then I'm busy. But I also put your tasting room on the big screen at the World Beer Cup. I go down there for important things.
Oh, that's right. You did do that.
You did a tasting party, a viewing party.
During the award ceremony.
That's right. I put you on screen for the entire
you
world.
set that up? I thought that was the BA.
That was me.
Okay.
Through the BA.
Oh, okay.
They hired me to do it.
He produced it.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
I'm the producer.
Well, you got free kegs out of it. So.
That's right. All right.
Seems fair.
I got to get us to a break. And then
all you got to do is do a live read.
I do have to do that. And then we have to do another segment. We'll just finish up. Is that okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to have another Fieldwork Pilsner, though, because it's a damn good beer.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like that beer.
I will, too, with you.
Yeah, I like that beer a lot. I started the show with that. I'm going to finish the show with that.
Oh, wait, my girlfriend just called. I'm just making that up.
You have one, too?
Your model girlfriend just called?
I'm just making that up.
What's his name?
I assume you are, too. Yeah.
All right, before we go, Craft Brew Creative, you sweat and toil over creating exceptional beer. Well, Craft Brew Creative will assure that your branding reflects that outstanding craft. They take the time to understand your vision throughout a straightforward and results-driven process. You end up with a tangible that will make you proud of your brewery brand and feel confident in your market. They do logo design, branding strategy, websites, labels, tap handles. That's just a few of the things that they excel in. And because Craft Brew Creative's great relationship with the Brewing Network, they're going to give you 15% off your first design or branding project, which is good for up to $300 in savings. So go to craftbrewcreative.com for details and mention the Brewing Network for your savings. Craftbrewcreative.com. Elevate your brand. All right, I got to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to drink some more beer.
I'm done.
Sully, you okay? It's not past your bedtime?
I might have to go soon.
You got another 2 minutes. You want me to call your girlfriend back and say you got...
No, don't do that.
Hang in there. It's The Session. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters.
Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
Since 1979, Williams Brewing has offered the finest equipment and freshest ingredients and the best customer service in the business. Check out their brand new patent-pending mash and boil 110-volt electric mashing and boiling unit. This compact all-stainless unit lets you mash, sparge, and boil just about anywhere that has a 110-volt plug. Double-wall construction adds to efficiency and safety, and a precise thermostat keeps temperatures where you want them. Unlike insulated buckets and converted coolers, multiple temperature rest mashing is easy to do, all for under $300. They also feature the Mark II work pump, a magnetic drive high-temperature pump that does the work of pumps that cost twice as much, as well as exclusive Brewer's Edge regulators and quality Keg King kegs and disconnects. Check them out today at williamsbrewing.com to brews their vast selection.
Hey, my brewing brothers and sisters. This is Jamel Zanishev, and I want to tell you about Heretic Evil Twin. You might be familiar with my homebrew recipe, which uses massive late hopping to create a balance between the malty sweet and the hoppy bitter, along with an outrageous malt and hop character. I wanted a beer with the same bold hop and malt character, so we played around with the homebrew recipe until we were able to make a great commercial version too. We've created a beer rich in malt character, full of caramel, toast, biscuit, and an ever so subtle roast note. On top of that, we piled in an insane amount of Citra and Columbus hops at the end of the boil, as well as in dry hopping. This damn-the-cost approach to hopping gives Heretic's Evil Twin a great blast of citrus and tropical fruit that can't be matched by any other hop. The result is a bold, malty, hoppy, but easy-drinking beer. This is our top seller, our flagship beer, and I couldn't be prouder of it. Cheers.
To find Heretic beers near you, click on Find Some at hereticbrewing.com.
Hi, this is Tyler from Libertine Brewing Company on the Central Coast of California. You're listening to Brewing Network, The Session. It sucks. Does it suck? It sucks. But that's what's good about it, is that it sucks, right?
All right, welcome back to the program, and thanks for hanging out with us. Go check out Great Fermentations at greatfermentations.com. They've got the largest catalog of Blickman products on the web, and their staff is some of the best trained in the business using Blickman products. They've got top-notch customer service and same-day shipping on so many items. Check them out at greatfermentations.com, and be sure to like them on Facebook. It's GR8 Fermentation, Instagram, and Twitter. GR8 Fermentation and greatfermentations.com. Check it all out. All right. Now's the time we get to dick around a little more. Finish up the show.
We already haven't done that?
I put a Fieldwork Pilsner in my glass to wrap up the last segment. What's it called? White Horse?
Ribbon.
White Ribbon. There we go. It's a good beer.
Thank you.
Can I try a sip of that?
Yeah. I started the show with this, too. That's why I wanted to finish it. I'm always pale ales and pilsners. It's almost all I drink.
You're a man of good taste.
I'm with you there. I like the ABV, and they each have their own.
Pale ale needs to come back hard.
Oh, I love it. That's my favorite.
Please, everybody, all the brewers out there, pale ale, please.
I feel it's
not the brewers, it's the customers, man.
Yeah,
but we make it, they won't make it.
Yeah,
I made. Firestone got rid of my favorite pale ale, the Pale 31, and I made them a funeral video of it, like complete with Sarah McLachlan as the soundtrack, as the saddest, saddest funeral video ever. But anyhow, they were like, "Yeah, look, it's not that we didn't love the beer, but there's not enough Justins in the world buying it."
I mean, we're getting rid of. We're killing two beers actually, Down to Earth and
Down to
Back
Earth.
in Black. Yeah, sorry.
Back in Black.
Yeah.
You see, we've got two fans of. I really like Down to Earth, Sully.
Yeah, it just didn't.
People weren't doing it,
just
huh?
Wasn't happening.
Yeah,
it's no bitter American. I'll tell you that.
No, that's true.
I like that one too.
I mean, it's funny because Down to Earth is actually really. No, I'm sorry. Back in Black is like is big in like upstate New York and like Atlanta.
Yeah,
it's like God love that. I mean, just
upstate New York.
It doesn't
all
work
metalheads.
making the beer, so
it doesn't work with your 500 barrel fermenters.
Yeah, well, we actually have smaller ones too, 200 barrels too.
Does it? Do you feel sorrow when you have to give away? And some of your.
Yeah, I mean, we just made the last batch of Down to Earth, and it's probably the best batch. I was like, why are we killing this?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I'll look at Dave Wilson, our president, and be like, why? I'll say, why are you doing this to me? Why are you killing my children?
Yeah.
And so
he's like,
See,
why.
that's the total opposite of Alex because he can't wait to murder his children.
I do. I love killing beers off.
Alex is homicidal about beers.
Wow.
I'm like, wait, when is Sea Farmer coming back? And he's like,
never. Dead.
No, but that's the best thing, though. Think about it, though. Your last memory of that beer is going to be the best batch ever.
Yeah.
That's the way every beer should be.
No,
you should kill it on a beer and go, fuck, I can't make that better, and then don't make it again.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
great. I love doing that.
See, I heard that when the Eagles quit playing after Hotel California, it was because they could never write a better album. That and they hated each other. But also they were like, I can never write a better album. That's it. We're done. And I like your philosophy. If you can't make the beer any better.
I've never been so insulted as to be like compared to the Eagles.
Too bad.
But
Why?
they did come
Because
back.
you
Hell
look like
freezes
one of the
over.
Eagles in the 70s?
I did not know that there was a sexy eagle, but I just hate the
I
Eagles.
just found your sore spot. Sorry, Don Henley.
Hey, his solo shit was amazing.
That's true.
Come on.
Don Henley was a malcontent, and so is Alex.
Yeah, that's true. He's got more in common than he would like to believe.
Yes, absolutely. Surly.
Damn it. We just ruined his night.
Better Sully than Sully. Oh! Sorry, I'm picking on you so hard today.
He didn't leave yet.
You got to wait till I leave, then you can do it.
Yeah.
No, but so we do need to get pale ale back because I completely agree. You can pack so much flavor in less alcohol, which is just what this industry needs. We call it a pale India ale.
Yeah, you got to change the name.
Because if it doesn't have like the 3 letters, people won't buy it.
Yeah.
It's
That's a good point.
2018, unless it has those 3 magic letters.
I'm
people
stealing that right now.
It's not that good.
Yeah.
But they call it a Pia?
Pia, baby.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, see, this
called
is
a pale India ale, and all of a sudden it was like, oh, because you call it session IPA, and then that was the thing that never worked. I love it.
It did work.
It did for a little bit. Actually,
and
that's
only
what
in certain
Down to Earth
markets.
was, yeah.
Some markets, they're like, session? No.
What about small IPA? Somebody was using that down in San Diego.
I think that was Society, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great term, but
I don't think it'll sell. People don't like
small.
that. They don't. Yeah, they want that. They want what's
You gotta
cool,
have
what's
IPA
big,
in
what's
there.
whatever. But yeah, we talk about this on the show from time to time every week.
Yeah.
And I know it sounds like deceitful, like to just rename the style or do something else. But the truth is, brewers could completely dictate the market just by altering the terms. Like you've got it right. You could really just call the next thing. 805 is a great example, actually. That was their honey ale for years. And maybe he tweaked it or something, but they were like, hey, what if we stopped calling it honey ale and named it after our area code? Now they're building the brewery of the world on it. And
is that really? So that's the story.
It was Firestone.
Yeah, Sully and I were talking about that last week.
Yeah, it's like 80% of their sales or something like that.
Yeah.
A whole new brewery.
And for years, it was just their sleeping...
buddy, and see.
It was their sleeping...
Was that your honey ale?
Yeah. I mean, there's all sorts of stories. We have a friend of the show who had a dry hop saison, and a bar changed it to dry hop session IPA and sold 20% more. And then called them and said, hey, by the way, we need more of this beer.
Right.
We're selling more of it because we changed the name, and you should too. And the next batch of cans, session IPA.
Yeah.
It's nothing, but
just says IPA.
No one gives a shit. Most of the consumers are, like we were talking about in the last show, hipster douchebags who don't understand that beer is so much more than 3 letters. And if you don't, but while you guys are trying to have a business, and I understand that, right? Like so you guys are in the tough spot because you're beer fans, you're craft beer fans, and you want to brew the things that you guys like, but at the same time it's hard to sell those things. And I don't want to be in your shoes. I'd rather be in my shoes where I can just complain about it than go get a mixed drink. So
for sure.
But that's why I'm saying
the point being you brew to your customer, and if they're idiots, you got to brew for the idiots.
Well, wait, no. That's why I'm saying what I'm saying. I'm actually saying exactly what JP said. You get to brew whatever you want. You just have to name it for the idiots. So that's what I'm saying. You could have everything you want. Brew exactly the beer you want, exactly the style. Fuck it up, don't fuck it up, I don't care. But just name it what the idiots want.
Well, but then
that's just a good
the non-idiots that will call you on that and will go, well, that's not a pale like me. That's
12
not a pale
of you will call us on it.
But then I think you're back to the same situation. You're going to piss off the people who helped kind of grow the industry that you're in. So you have to write a line, and I wouldn't know how to.
So I'd like to go on
that.
record and say our customers aren't those idiots. Our customers are very intelligent, awesome human beings.
This guy.
And
I didn't participate in that conversation.
And their names are the following: Albert, Alfred, Joan, Jane.
You already named them all. We're not in 29 states, just one.
All right, well, I'll get my clipboard out and come by someday.
But you brought up a fantastic point, which is it does, like, I mean, it fucking kills me a lot of times that. So here's how I'll put it that I think you guys will understand.
Yeah. Whoa.
You guys are going to JBF, right? You guys are going to broadcast from JBF. Now, if you brought in, oh God, I'm going to sound like such a dick right now. Everybody, good point. So, and if you grabbed everyone at your event who's reviewing beers online on Untapped or whatever they choose, which is, I think it's awesome. Like, I'm all for it. And you brought them, put a mic in front of them, and said, "What do you think if Michael Jackson was still alive? He'd think about craft beer right now." What do you think the responses would be?
They would say who?
No.
They would say who?
They'd be like, Michael Jackson drank beer? Right. That would be the reaction. And that makes me so fucking sad.
I don't understand this line of thought right now.
Is that just a lot of people don't do their homework. And they don't, I mean, to me, I'm not saying you have to know beer history to review beer. Dude, do whatever you want. Like, honestly, be happy. I'm not trying to tell you what to do.
Right.
But I'd be a lot happier if, I'm trying to say, I'd be happier if people just bought pale ale. and German beer, and Belgian beer. I mean,
I mean, for me, it's like when I go to like a tasting room and like you see the big beer board and you see all these different beers and like it's all these different and unique ingredients, and I'm like, I don't know, I really know that brewery. I don't know about that beer, but if I see Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, I will buy it every time.
Every time.
But that might be my old manness.
No. Well, okay, then it's mine too.
Having good taste. I mean,
you know what you're going to get. You know, it's a great beer.
But the other balance here, and I do think this is what JP's talking about. If I'm
Hang
on
on
the
a second,
same page here,
Ken, I said Sierra Nevada Pale Ale 3 times.
Is the balance between how much of those, beer nerds. I'm just going to call them beer nerds that care and that write on the things. How much do they matter to the sales of your beer? And they matter for street cred, and they matter because we respect their opinions. But what I'm saying is when you brew the beer you want, which is going to be a great beer to them also, but you name it the wrong thing, how much does that even matter?
I don't know.
It's hard to be quantified. How can you even know that?
I mean, I think, well, for us, it's packaging gets you in the door. I mean, people buy the beer because they heard about it from a friend, or they're walking through the grocery store aisle and they see this, wow, this is an interesting beer. What brings them back is the liquid inside, the beer inside.
Right.
So
if you come through,
and then also the name. And the name's important, too. I mean, that's what, you guys are at Fieldwork, you do great names. You do great descriptions. I mean, they're long, but they're... but they're...
Fuck you so hard.
At least they're not the rare barrel.
Or armistice.
Yeah.
But, you're kind of pulled into the story. I mean, I wrote a press release for this beer, and I was trying to channel Alex, and I didn't do a very good job because everybody pushed it back and we said, what the hell are you trying to say? Or I was like, I know Alex tweet. And so...
I'm going to pretend that was name drop just so I feel better about myself.
No, because, so the name and the description and all that, I think, is what pulls people in. And the packaging.
A little bit of backstory.
Can I bring up a point real fast?
Yeah.
I find it's interesting that you guys, as the industry, are essentially trying to lower the IBUs of IPA.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a commentary I realized today. Like, IPA is like the king of all craft beer. People crave IPA, but as the IBUs get lower and lower, people seem to want it more just because it corresponds with a different look. And so it kind of, to me, I guess, reinforces my, assertion that if you like hazy IPA, you don't really like you don't like IPA, you really want a pale ale.
Well, so
it has that malt, it has that soft, it has that flavor, but it's just a little bit more alcohol.
They have flavor,
right?
And
most of the and you look at West Coast IPA for the past 5 years. To me, didn't have that flavor. It was actually lightening up, where it was like, oh, here's just 2-row and tons of fucking hops. To me, that's really, really boring. And the hazy IPA really is riding that line, I think, between pale ales and IPAs. But I think that if you go to a bar and you drink a hazy IPA because you like the mouthfeel and it's not as bitter, you don't really want an IPA. Try fucking pale ale. Try something else.
You're not wrong.
Right. Thank you.
But no,
Alex tweet said I was not wrong in this time of day.
Yeah. But no, I mean, but not to jump back too far, but you also are asking, do the beer geeks matter? Completely.
They buy all the beer.
Look how fast hazy IPA went from this thing that wasn't called hazy IPA to being in GABF to being on every tap list.
Yeah.
I mean, lightning quick. That didn't just come from out of nowhere.
Yeah. No.
That started at the Beer Geeks.
Yeah. Okay.
I tell everybody, when I was bartending before we opened the brewery up, I was bartending in Oakland, and I would have like 80-year-old women coming in going, do you have the Pliny the Elder?
Of course,
That's fucking awesome. But that came from the Beer Geeks. That wasn't just...
You're right.
So,
and that's why
everything starts with the people who love it the most.
Yeah.
And,
you're right.
And I think you cannot ignore the people who have the most love for what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I think that's super important to it. But I think also there's, you can't be disingenuous about it. You got...
right.
You got to actually be into what you're doing, or it's going to show.
So can we just put? You can name it whatever you want, call it whatever style you want, but make a coded footnote on every can and bottle and whatever that's that only the beer geeks get,
like a decipher, like a weird date code.
It's a wink. It's like, I got you, bro. Yeah. We know we're
look
full
at it
of
under
shit.
a black light with one eye.
Yeah, but I got you, and we know this description is full shit.
I'm opening up National Treasure Brewing Company tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, I was at Heretic the other day and texting with Jamil because he was off gallivanting somewhere, and I go, oh, hey, English Pale, that's cool. And he goes, it's really my bitter, but nobody buys it, so I call it a pale ale to sell it.
Yes, completely. Yeah, we've totally done that before.
Yeah. That was my rule of thumb, when I first started brewing and you did something wrong. Beer didn't turn out the way you wanted it to. The way you fix it is you dry hop it and you change the name. It's like from back in 1994.
Yeah. We're not reinventing the wheel here.
Yeah.
We're not making triangle wheels again.
Yeah, well, but,
yes. Thank you for bringing it right back around.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
And also, like we were talking, it does suck when you don't get to brew only what you want, because we saw it happen already. How many brewers were talking a gang of shit about hazy IPA?
Yeah.
Fucking damn near all of them, and guess what they're all doing now?
Yeah.
So,
and how many of them built a brewery to brew and because of brewing that beer?
Yeah. So, you anybody who says you have to pay attention and you have to care, and they're brewing what they don't want to brew, and so be it. But what I love is, we founded our brewery on IPA. We've been doing what we do, but I love, and this goes back to our amazing, intelligent customers.
Hell yeah.
Barry could speak to this better than I
Thanks,
could,
Albert.
but we fucking sell a shitload of Belgian beer, and Belgian's in the fucking toilet right now, and we're selling out tons of Belgian beer. Saison, Pilsner, Lager. Barry's he's built this amazing sales team that helps that happen, but it's also gotten to the point where you're welcome. See,
I'm glad you did one thing, Barry.
Yeah. Now maybe one day Alex can get a better brew house. It sounds like that's really what it's leading up to.
It's called "You Gotta Lick It Before You Stick."
If you're into that,
Wow. The Fieldwork brand is so strong. If you make it, it will sell. Just people will automatically.
Well, thank you, Tasty.
But to go back to what you're saying, I don't love everything I do, but it warms my goddamn cold, icy heart when I see us we'll brew a 50-barrel batch of Belgian Pale Ale, and it's gone in 2 weeks. That makes me so stoked to be doing what we're doing, amazing. Where we're doing it. And these are styles I didn't think I'd ever get to brew because no one is buying them. And I just, I'm not kidding, though, when I'm complimenting our customers. Our customers are incredible, and they are adventurous into going back in time now and trying styles that are not hot now, but that we love and that the people we really respect love, and they're drinking them, and they're buying them again. So, so that was a roundabout.
I've been working on the railroad.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Glory, hallelujah.
Yeah, that's what
I've been working on the railroad.
Or glory.
Either way, it's
your customers really do drive the show. Case in point, Down to Earth, Back in Black, not doing so well. I love those beers. I love those styles, and they were popular at one point. Black IPAs have been kind of the downturn for a while now. Session IPAs as well. I think it's kind of becoming the new pale ale in a lot of ways. But that's what's great. Your customers essentially are telling you what they want. And so you have to listen to them. And we also get emails about this and that. And
do you?
Yeah, about where people.
They're usually from Matt Brindleson.
I want to read through your emails one day.
But customers send in emails about we can't find this beer. What's going on with this beer? Whereas it's great. It's a great way to keep in touch. So you
guys get hate mail?
Not hate mail, but sometimes you'll get an email in the middle of the night from somebody who's, you can tell they've been drinking, and there's and they're going off on something, or I can't find the 15 pack of Blood Orange. Where can I get it? And then we'll send them out a note and tell them where you can find it.
Nice.
Next morning while they're having their cup of coffee.
If you get hate mail, any of you, I should ask this of all my guests. We all save it anonymously, because I would love to read brewery hate mail on the air one day. We'll keep it anonymous, not who it's to, not who it's from, but how fun would it be to read? Because we could talk about our listenership, basically.
We have some great source material for that.
You do?
We should have done
that. It would be a great segment, don't you think?
It would be an amazing segment.
Well, we should have done the brewers read their own bad beer review.
Well, it'd be similar to that, right?
Well. Yeah,
but I would rather it be anonymous, so that we don't know which brewery it went to or who it came from. Just general craft beer nerd hate mail.
I could probably pull some up right now.
It would be an amazing segment. I'm going to follow up with you guys on this.
Let's do that.
I think it'd be really good. Hey, if you want to geek out on beer yourself and learn more about the microbes responsible for making sour and farmhouse beer, check out White Labs at their Asheville facility or their online webinar series. It's September 11th and 12th, and it's the new Sour Beer Essentials Workshop. It's a 2-day workshop, and it will explore the finer points of fermenting sour beer, intricacies of handling the yeast and bacteria, the history and traditions of these beers, and so much more. So for more information, by the way, it's either in Asheville or online, so it doesn't matter where you are. You can head to whitelabs.com/education. whitelabs.com/education.
Oh, by the way, I love our customers too. I know Alex said it like 12 times, but we have very intelligent and we love our customers.
Wonderful customers. Good job following Alex's lead there. I like it.
I have to get that one in.
So we just have a couple things finished. Sully, you got to get out of here.
I got to go. So please start talking about me.
Thank you so much for coming in, and it's good to see you. A wonderful job on the beer.
Thank you.
And we'll see you soon,
See
Sully.
you guys next time.
Fun hanging, buddy.
Hey, we'll talk about the. We're going to do the tasting room tour.
Yes, that's actually a good idea.
All right, he's talking offline now.
See ya.
So was that his helicopter that just landed on the roof?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's the Sullycopter.
Oh, okay.
The Sully bird.
He summoned his Tesla.
Sully Force 1.
Yeah, that's how I knew he had to go. It's Sully Force 1 was on the roof. On the roof. Vibrating the whole place.
Yeah.
Top 30.
Twitter game.
Yes.
What was our Twitter game tonight?
Our Twitter game was I'm outraged, and I want to know what Twitter is outraged about right now, too.
How did they do out in the Twitter world?
They did okay.
Okay.
Brad Allen says, I'm outraged that you're outraged, which I really appreciate.
Okay.
Homebrew Dave says, I'm outraged that the Polish malt is cheaper by the bag than the American malt.
Okay.
The Polish malt, the one bag that they have.
Do we know what the Polish malt is?
No, we don't.
Okay.
Nicole Ernie says, I'm outraged that my hazy IPA was only slightly turbid.
Oh, I would be too.
Yeah.
Not the Fieldwork 2-1-A collab.
Effing Beer says, I'm outraged of all of the cool brewery people in Scotland. We got stuck with Brewdog.
Can I chime in on that real quick? Brewdog's putting out the Brewdog Network.
Uh-huh. Oh. Tell me we're suing them.
No, I'm not going to do it, but their logo's fucking identical. What? It's not a hop grenade, but
Cease
like
and desist, baby. Let's go.
Like the old one, like the stacked and then underneath Brewing and Network.
Yeah.
Same font, same lineup, same everything. So literally there's just a couple of letter difference. It's the Brewdog Network.
That's the new thing in beers, where you steal people's logos and then change it just a bit, and then wait for that cease and desist, and then you publish it.
And
dude, it's identical.
What they're doing, you're looking it up, and what they're doing is like a streaming video service.
Mm-hmm.
Which is exactly the category that my trademark is in for the brewery. Like, in other words, I got this like dialed in.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm not going to do it.
Why?
Ripping people off is so punk rock.
I don't. Here's why. I don't think they ripped me off deliberately.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think that. Why would they? The logo wasn't that great, to be honest. I think they could
for the press.
I think they could have done better
for this conversation.
And also, it's just another like content format, and I think that's fine. Like there's ABC and NBC. Did they like sue each other because that's like too similar, right? And they're both just broadcaster. They're trying to bring content to the beer world. So instead, I think what they should do is sponsor the Brewing Network to get the word out for the new Brewdog Network, rather than me sue them because I'll win.
And so, how are you going to facilitate that?
I was going to send him an email and say, "Hey, dude. Hey, James. What's up, buddy?"
Yeah.
I'm just text him.
Yeah.
You want to give him a
name dropping?
Cease and buy some time.
Yeah.
So I shouldn't say anything.
I don't think it's going to work anyway.
Yeah.
But just because everyone's a dick. But I don't think I should sue them. I think I should see how their content goes.
Have you heard about their content?
It's going to fail.
Have you heard about it?
Yeah, I read a little about it.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Let me know when your email doesn't work, and then we can talk about it.
We'll still be in other words, we'll still be the oldest and longest running network in streaming media.
But that's what I mean. They don't. It doesn't matter. They don't care if it fails or whatever. It's just something to do.
Yeah.
To get the name out. So.
Well, they got some cash to spend too, but
yeah, they got investors.
They have investors because they go on Kickstarter.
You know what would make it work?
They got outside investing.
Is if they advertise on the Brewing Network,
right,
and allow us to curate programming for them.
So we work for them.
Yeah.
Well, we already do it. We'll just give them the video from the fucking webcam.
Well, let me know if that doesn't work, and then we can talk about it again.
Nothing's going to work. But yeah, I looked up that logo. You saw it, Bevo? It's my logo. It's identical.
Yeah, it's just the same.
And so, what if they say no? We don't want to do that. Then what? You're going to let them use it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Your court case just got rock solid.
They got tons of money. Let's take some of that.
It would cost us too much to do that.
Represent yourself in court.
And in the end, the PR value wouldn't be good for either of us. Mostly,
I think it'd be great.
Actually, mostly it would be bad for us.
No, I disagree. I think it'd be great. I think it'd be really bad for them
What
because
if-
they already have a lot of bad PR.
But they have more reach, more attitude, more goodwill with the general public. We have the beer we have the tight knit super army.
Yeah.
But they've just got and the fight is about something silly. That's why. If the fight were about my hop grenade, that would be different because then it'd be like, oh, you actually took a thing that we're completely identified with.
Mm-hmm.
But this they're just trying to put out content, and it would be pitched as we're trying to stop them from putting out content. It would go awry very quickly.
Okay.
You should crowdfund your litigation.
Thought this all out.
No, what I think we should do is actually this company, Brewdog, they should just buy this other company called the Brewing Network.
I would sell it for much cheaper than they probably bought that logo for.
Probably. No. So, put us all out of our misery.
Justin.
Yeah.
If I was your business advisor,
yeah,
just shut up.
See, I've never done that.
Yeah. Which is why we're here.
This is why we are where we are. Plus, I can just delete this. It's fine. It's fine. No one listens to this program.
No.
I'm pretty sure.
Wait, why are we here?
Unless you're an advertiser, in which case, if you're a brewery and like to advertise on the Brewing Network.
We actually currently have 70,000 more listeners and viewers than Brewdog Network has.
Mm-hmm. But who's counting?
But so when does Alex get to tape a lead in?
No.
Oh
no!
Right now,
right after this show,
you weren't
right
in here,
now.
Were you?
Oh, did you
I
tape
told
one?
them I want. No, I said we'll slip you some cash and we'll dub over the 21A paid advertising.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Shaun Sullivan from 21st Amendment or from Fieldwork Brewing. Come on into our Fieldwork tasting room.
Yeah. And then change the everything. Okay, what else we got in the Twitter?
The last one from Ryan says, in Chechnya, we have no outrage, only enrage. Tell us how you make rage go out.
I like that, actually. It's not like laugh out loud, but it's very clever.
It's deep cuts.
What was the one before that, before I started?
Of all the cool brewery people in Scotland, we got stuck with Brewdog.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's give it to the Chechnya guy.
All right, Ryan, there you go.
Good job. That's our Twitter game winner for today. Hey, don't forget to go to NeshamineCreekBrewing.com and check them out. They've been on the Philly brewing beer map scene since 2012. They've got 4 Philly Beer Scene Magazine awards for Brewer of the Year, and a third, for Brewer of the Year, and a third for Brewery of the Year. 2-time GABF Vienna Style Lager Medal winner. That's impressive. And a bronze for their Smoke Lager in 2016. So they've got a large, expanded, recently renovated tap room with 24 beers on tap, 18 of which are all rotating, seasonal, and or limited beers, and a variety of beer styles from hoppy double IPAs to sessionable and poundable lagers. Free brewery tours on Saturdays. Go to NeshamineCreekBrewing.com. They're also a lot of fun, so hang out with them when you're there, too. We like them. Hope to see you at GABF. All right. Is that it? Oh, Adam and Eve. Something to Adam and Eve. I don't have it open, but I think I can do it by memory.
Look into
AdamEve.com. Free shipping, 50% off just about any one item.
That's right.
Plus the G-Spot kit.
Big O.
The Big O kit, sorry.
That's much about the G-Spot.
I mean, I was close, right?
Okay, the fact that you just said I was close, right, in regards to this
the G-Spot
is terrible.
But the Big O and the G-Spot, they're... Okay. Go to AdamEve.com, use coupon code BNARMY, BNARMY, and you'll get yourself all of that good stuff, 50% off an item, free shipping, the Big O kit. Yeah, check it out. AdamEve.com. All right, I think my obligations are complete.
That's correct.
How do we do, Fieldwork? Are you guys good? You happy?
Had a lovely...
You did?
Amazing evening, and thank you so much for having us.
Thanks, guys, for being here. It was fun to hang out and talk.
No, it was great.
Yeah, I'm sorry I missed the last one, so...
Well, you know what? We're going to do a tour with Sully.
Another tour?
Of all of our tap rooms. So we're going to serve a terrible idea at all of our tap rooms.
Excellent.
Dates to be determined.
I want to come hang out at your tap room for that.
That's the thing. Y'all are invited. We need to...
I would love to.
We're going to do a bus.
Somebody needs to show up.
You're going to do like a tour all in one thing. Yeah. Oh, please send me an invite.
I will.
I'd love to go on that.
I will.
I also haven't been to your tap room.
There may be one overnight stay.
That's fun, too.
There may be 2 overnight stays.
So we're taking a real tour.
Can we call it a terrible tour?
It's a terrible tour. Yeah.
So, yeah, we will.
A terrible idea.
All right. Are you kidding me? It's a horrible idea. It's the worst idea ever.
I'll bring the Adderall, and I think it'll be fine.
Okay.
Who's bringing the cocaine?
I don't know. I'm strictly bath salts.
Oh, bath salts. That's why we got to stay overnight, so you can soak.
I'm going to eat your face off. Just wait.
That sounds great. Please do invite. That sounds awesome.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it.
I like that you're
so
actually
nice to see you
literally thinking that you're going to take a bath with bath salts like a bath bomb, and Alex is going to smoke the bath salts and rip your face off.
Oh, yeah. I'll be laying in my room waiting for Alex. Like, Alex, I thought we were bath salting.
Hey, the clothes will be off.
The water's getting cold.
Quicker, I can eat you.
I got a bath bomb. So do I.
Alex would be like, that idiot.
Just shave beforehand.
Again.
And afterwards.
All right, next week on the program, we've got Bent Paddle Brewing Company. That should be fun. And then don't forget about our Oktoberfest right here in the park in Concord. That's October 12th and 13th. We got a little more than 20 breweries that will participate. We'll be serving their beer for that. So go to ConcordOktoberfest.com and you'll be able to buy tickets starting tomorrow. All right. Are we good?
Yes.
Hang on. I have to find your theme song.
Oh, shit.
Can't believe I forgot.
You don't know that by heart now?
How would I ever forget your theme song?
I don't know.
All right, boys. Thanks again. And Sully, thank you for being in here. I know you're on your way home right now listening to us. We didn't have anything bad to say about you this time. You did a great job.
Made something up. Or whatever.
Yeah. He's gotten so kind in his old age, right?
It's true.
Yeah. We love you, Sully. All right. Take us out of here, JP.
Thank you to our show sponsor, More Beer. You can get absolutely everything you need to make great beer at home by going to morebeer.com. 21st Amendment and Fieldwork, two great breweries making great beer together. Find them on the World Wide Web of things and stuff at 21st-amendment.com and fieldworkbrewing.com, respectively. Merge your love of Disneyland with your lack of engaging podcasts and go to Ears Up Podcast. The JP, Terrence, Bevo, and Taryn talk about all things Disney. Get on Twitter for some good beer insight and homebrew info, and follow Nate Smith at Nathan Homebrew, Mike McDowell at Tasty McD. Warren is stuck over at Another Beardy. Jason, I wrote the foreword to a serious book written by a human lawyer. Petros knows Twitter is dead, so he's on Instagram at Major Jip, and you can find Bevo there as well at Beverly Moore. Be sure to find the Brewing Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
JP's an asshole. Justin's a nice guy and